Cackles like a witch. Here we are. Honey bitch. Control yourself, bitch.
That's my favorite. Hello, everybody. Good evening. 6:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So glad you're all here. You're going to have to tell me if you can hear me okay or not. And don't lie, because I moved the microphone a little away from my face because I needed more room to kind of spread out on my desk. So you guys let me know. Does it sound okay? Can you hear me just fine? Do I sound far away? Like I'm in a tin can? The sound is good? Okay, good. Oh, Kimberlina says I sound skinty. Of course. AK, you need to control yourself, bitch clip. Absolutely, girl. I will get that to you. Yeah, I had to spread out. Shut up. Okay, guys, I am so excited about today's stream. And I feel like we just really need to get into it. Okay, I've spent more time than I care to admit prepping for today's stream. And there's a lot. There's a lot here. But of course, first I want to say hello to all of you. So hello, all of you. Tally, I see you. Sassy Mama, Dungeons and Roses, I see you, girl. Elizabeth J, thank you so much for joining memberships. Forever a basic Betty, you shall be. Thank you so much. There's so much going on in Girl World right now. If you haven't already heard, let me be the first to tell you. Chantel, 2 of Chantel's cameos that she has recorded since May 30th, 2025 have been leaked just this afternoon. They've been leaked. She's using a green screen. People are analyzing it. I think there's some points where the green screen failed a little bit and you can tell she's in a car. So they're, analyzing the stitching on the seat behind her, so on and so forth. I think I've seen some polls on the Twitter, and people are still, by and large, voting that she's in Canada. So I don't know. We'll see. We're gonna find out eventually, but that's not what we're here to talk about tonight. Tonight we're here to talk about Dirt Next. So Sky Fairy, thank you so much for being a member for 30 months. Forever Basic Betty, you will be my longest relationship ever. Thanks for all you do. Thank you for being here. Missing Mimic says, a car in Canada. I agree. Oh, you flipped to Team Canada, Jay Denise. Good. Can she really be that stupid that she doesn't realize that anything she's getting is strictly to ice her out, smoke her out, give up her location? She has to know that for sure. But she also needs cold hard cash. And I'm pretty sure that like those cameos are a situation type deal where she can like cash that out, right? So she's clearly desperate for a little bit of coin. Mia Nito, thank you for being a member for 25 months. Make the standing and stream public again, please. Maybe I might. Mia, I mean, you have been a shamrock for 25 months. I reckon it's one of the least things I could do. I mean, I don't see why not. You guys don't let me forget to make the Sandy and Ann streams public again, please. Okay, thank you. Thank you so much for being a member, Mia Nito, for 25 months. I appreciate you supporting my channel. She'd not be this quiet if she's in Canada. She's a broke bitch. She thinks so. Chin's wasta crimes. Okay, that reminds me, everybody. Hold on. The team shirts are live in the merch store. We'll look at them real quick since we're on the topic. There's the link. The link is long and it's stupid because whatever, it doesn't matter, but that's the link. I'm going to pin the message to the chat. I'm going to present screen. We're going to slide on over to the merch store real quick and have a look at the team shirts. We have 3 team shirts. Hold on, let me make sure y'all can see it. Oh, you can't even see me. There I am. Oh my God, I'm so cute. Okay. I am wearing, hold on. This irritates me. So hold on. Does that do it? Am I behind? I don't know. Okay. We have 3 shirts. We have Team Canada. All right. It says Team Canada 5/30/25, the end of the Kuwait era. There is a little black cat on there. You can't see it. I was going to keep it black on black for the cat, but I don't know. I might change the cat to white. It's a very important that we all read the description for these shirts before we order. All right, this is a limited edition special release. Are you Team Canada, Team Kuwait, or Team Scissoring the Fence? This shirt is offered in black t-shirt only. On the Team Canada shirt, can you see? Hold on, let me take this off so you can see my shirt. There we go. On the Team Canada shirt, the Team Canada, the white part of Team Canada is white glitter, and then the rest is just regular. On the Team Canada shirt only, though, is some white glitter. But I'm giving you the option. Hold on, let me share screen again. There is an option. So you can get the Team Canada shirt with white glitter or without. So where you order would be here. As you can see, it says Team Canada white glitter. Or if you do not want the white glitter, you choose the Team Canada no white glitter. And then you can choose Team Kuwait or Team Scissoring the Fence. Tally 420, thank you so much for the super chat, hon. I like the Scissoring the Fence one the best. Do you? I love it too. Thank you so much. Here's the Team Kuwait. Team Kuwait, 53025, hashtag too stupid to flee. That's a good one. I love it so much. And then, of course, we have Team Scissoring the Fence, end of the Kuwait era, or too stupid to flee. Oh, shoot. That's not what I meant to do. Dang it. Hold on. Tally 420, thank you so much for the super chat, hon. Oh, my God. And thank you for gifting 5 Samantha Jean memberships. Up the Taco, Jiggly Jewels, Oops-a-Daisy, Gizmo, and Blue Stars. Welcome. Let me put that back up there. I clicked the wrong button. Okay, here we go. I'm going to close that. All right, back to the description. The shirt is offered in black t-shirt only. So I'm not doing hoodies. I'm not doing crew neck sweatshirts. It's a black t-shirt only. Team Canada is white glitter unless you choose the no glitter option. The final design for these shirts may differ slightly from the picture shown. As you can see in my shirt, it's not in all caps. On the site, it's whatever. You're going to get a shirt that looks pretty much like this, is what I'm saying. Final design may differ slightly from the picture shown. Sorry, no custom orders accepted for this shirt. Also, shipping times are not guaranteed. And it literally, I made this listing this morning. I said, your shirt may arrive after Cutie shows her face again, which she has now shown her face, but still she is concealing her whereabouts. The link to purchase your team shirt is at the top of the chat. Again, we've got the Team Canada, 53025, the end of the Kuwait era. We have Team Kuwait, 53025, hashtag too stupid to flee. And then we have Team Scissoring the Fence, end of the Kuwait era, or too stupid to flee. All right, that's it. So much fun. This listing's not going to be up very long, so get them while you can, bros. It is $25 USD. Shipping is not included. All right, so that's fun. Lord have mercy. Oh my gosh, is my chat behind or what? Oh, wait, I missed a super chat. Where is it? There we go. Wait, I'm on the wrong screen. Oh, I'm having trouble. Where am I? There we go. StreamYards. All right. Virgo, oh no. Thank you so much for the super chat. Let's see. I was swayed to Team Canada by white glitter. As you know, I am Team Canada. Therefore, that's why I put the white glitter on the Team Canada, because I just feel like that you can't really even see. This one does have white glitter. There's no sunlight coming in. But as you can see, I am Team Canada, and I believe she's in Canada. That's my final answer. So yeah, if you make the right choice, you have your choice of white glitter. The white glitter is amazing. I said someone get Abigail on the line. What about fondue? Oh, I can't go back in the chat. I'll never be able to figure it out. Oh, wait. Phoebe says, Yaba, did you like my 1-800 suggestion? It's in the comment of your stream. I heard that part of the stream today. That is so funny. I can't wait for it. I'm hoping we get that all set up before the 12-hour live stream. I mean, now we're going to do a 12-hour live stream, you guys. It's going to be fucking great. I'm really excited for that. Elaine Gray, thank you for being a member for 15 months. Let's get to Dirt Net. Got a lot to say. Kuwait. All right, Elaine Gray, let's get to it because there's a lot here. All right. But before we get started with that, I'm just going to bring this up on screen. Oh, what? Damn it, wrong button again. I want to bring this up on screen for everybody because, I mean, listen, have I heard the rumors over the years that old Dirt Neck has been evicted 8 times? Of course I have. Of course I have. Who hasn't heard, right? Have I cared? No, why would I care? Hell, I've been evicted. We all know I have evictions on my record, and I don't care. I have my reasons for why I have been evicted, and I'm sure Frenchie has her reasons for why she's been evicted, and whatever. We all have our sob stories to tell, right? So I didn't care. What do I care? Have you ever heard me throw that shit in Frenchie's face? Have you ever heard Yaba throw that shit in Frenchie's face? We've been beefing with Frenchie for how many months now? It's June. When did this shit start between us and Frenchie? Quite some time ago. Did you hear us talking about Frenchie's got evictions and bankruptcies and she has a rap sheet. She's been arrested for domestic violence. So on and so forth. No. Because I just don't care. Neither does Yaba. We just don't care, right? But it seems old Franche, old dirt neck herself, she must be running out of steam over there or something. She must be running out of wicked ammunition in her little slap fight. What are you all out? Have you shot all your shots? Have you thrown all of your little rubber pellets at us? This is what you've resorted to. This is what you've been reduced to. 3 days ago, June 7th, 2025 at 5:59 p.m. 4 tax liens and 2 bankruptcies in just the last few years. Do you see this shit? This is what she's putting on the Twitter. 4 tax liens and 2 bankruptcies in just the last few years. Less Nintendos, more pay your fucking debts. Deadbeat motherfucker. They're so... You guys might not think to see that little tweet, that little 3-line tweet, that there's a lot to unpack there, but there is a lot to unpack there. Let me go over to my my super chats and my member messages. We'll go through those and then we'll come back to this tweet and unpack it. We're going to be here for a minute tonight, guys and gals. That doesn't say mother, it says meth. Oh yeah, meth fucker. Sorry, thank you. All right. Chins Watson, thank you so much for being a member for 8 months. Ordered one of each because limited time. Love to all of you. Go fuck yourself, cutie. Thank you, Chins Watson. Appreciate you. Cautious Observer, thank you so much for the super chat. Late fee. You're late. You're excused. Noted that you were late, but you're here. P-Day 2-Day, thank you for being a member for 40 months. You're even more skinty every time you go live, Sham. Thank you so much, P-Day. I appreciate your support of the channel and your support of my weight loss journey. I wish I could say I was skinnier than I was last time I was live, but I'm not. I had a whole situation type deal happen. Yeah, anyway, I don't want to talk about it right now. We'll talk about it another time. You guys come back to that next time I'm live when it's, not so much going on. Maybe ask me like, hey, Sam, how did you gain 10 pounds in 2 days and how long did it take you to take it off? I'll be happy to tell you. Sammy in Brooklyn, thank you so much for joining memberships. I appreciate you, girl. Elaine Gray, feel free to share the tweets she sent me. I don't know how to do it. Oh, Elaine Gray, I'm not really sure what tweet you're talking about, but thank you for the super chat and I'll see if I can't figure that out. Silent Crying Barista, thank you for joining memberships. I appreciate you. I hope you're enjoying your notebook. Did you get it yet? Yamano Spite by Proxy, thank you for the super chat. More late fees, my bad, trying to leave the kids at the park. You're so funny. Thank you for the super chat. Okay, so let's go back to the tweet, shall we? Wait, babe, were you going to come on stream with me? I totally forgot. Can I send you the link? Are you ready? Are you at your desk? Shit the bed. I was supposed to send you the link. I totally forgot. What the hell? Listen, I don't know why I scheduled this for 6 o'clock. I know by the time I get home from work on a work day, 6 o'clock ain't going to work for me. It should have been 6:30. But yeah. Hold on. Let me send you the link, babe. And if you want to come on panel, you're more than welcome, obviously. I almost went to the tab that I'm sharing with my Twitter open to go to my DM to send my wife the link. Holy shit. That would have been so funny. Let me just stop sharing altogether before I go to my DMs. Because yes, I have shared my DMs before. It's been a long time. I haven't made the mistake since I was just a wee baby in the YouTubies, but I have made the mistake and I prefer to never make it again. Okay, babe, I DM'd you the link. Thank you so much, babe. Hold on, let me get out of that screen altogether. All right. Saltiest Tea says, Sham, did you get my email? Saltiest Tea, I will be very honest. I've not checked my emails in several days. I usually will check my YouTube emails, my merch emails on Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. So I should be looking at my emails tomorrow morning. So Saltiest Tea, I will look for that. Thank you for the super chat. Is it Burnett JC, Canadian Backwash Pundit? Hey, gorgeous. Hey, girl. Thank you for the super chat. Chin's Lots of Crimes. I should have had you send my DIY for my notebook with my shirts. I'm an unk. Chin's Lots of Crimes. Just email me. We'll get it worked out. You know we will. Thank you for the super chat, hun. All right. My wife has not yet taken the link. You shared things by accident before, right? Hey, Tally. I see you, girl. Marie Johnson. Hello. What about the redhead? Oh, okay. I'm going to skip that. That was not directed at me, and we'll leave it that way. You're going to be listening in bed whilst you wait for sleep to arrive. Oh, I love black cats. I love nothing more than falling asleep, listen to something. Okay, let me go back over here and share again the Twitter. Share screen. Oh, there she is. Hold on. Oh my God. Did you hear your dog? Again, the Twitter. Share screen. Oh, there she is. I think I'm hearing you. All right, I think I'm hearing me through you, baby.
Okay, how about now?
Not anymore. Oh, Elaine Gray, thank you for the super chat. I said to FFG on Twitter, what the F happened to you? She proceeded to go off on me, then posted my picture from Yaba's live. Called me fat and ugly.
The nerve of her. The nerve.
I don't even have any of my pictures queued up of Frenchie just to bop to. Hold on. Let's see.
You have
see.
that little video clip.
Hold on. What little
Hey,
video?
guys. Girl, as soon as I clicked the link, freaking Harlow let out a shriek of a bark and damn near scared the piss out of me.
Girl, what the hell? What did she hear something?
Yeah, she heard my son in the kitchen.
Okay. Sorry. That was a clip I was supposed to have queued up and did it. Oh, here. Hold on. See, I got to bring a couple of these things over. I totally did not have myself ready. Don't let me do 6 o'clock again, please, babe, on a work night. You know, I can't do that.
Yeah, we'll do 7. I think 7. That's okay. I mean, hell, we'll just be here longer. Everybody loves a long stream. Isn't that right, Jackson?
Yeah, who doesn't love a long stream? Okay, now I got to find my chat again. There it is. All right. Okay, where am I? Over here. So back to this tweet that she tweeted 3 days ago. 4 tax liens, 2 bankruptcies in just the last few years. First of all, bullshit. Here's just Jamie underneath says receipts or didn't happen. So here comes Frenchie calling her a dumbass, retweeting this girl world gossip who posts this, which is an income tax warrant, tax period dates December 31, 2015 to December 3rd. Okay, so this is the 2015 tax year. Chat, or should we ask Alexa? How many years is that? How many years is that? 10. It's 10 fucking years, Frenchie. I'll do the math for you. 10 years. But what did you say in your tweet? In just the last few years. Okay, so 10 years is considered in just the last few years. Okay, whatever. It's also paid. Why don't you look that up? The $3,927.37 girl world gossip. Why didn't you post where it shows that it's paid? Because that's public record too.
And when it was paid. And look when it was paid.
It was paid in 2015, was it not?
Yes.
Yes, it was. And that's public record. I'm not going to dig it up.
I swear, you would have thought, I said this today on my stream, you would have thought that I bought a fucking Lamborghini. It's a fucking Nintendo
Switch, for Christ's sake.
Yeah.
Look at this girl work gossip. Don't you and your greasy big black wife have a tax lien? Y'all going to be going through my... I think this is Frenchie, by the way.
I do too. I think so
this is Frenchie herself. Was this the same person that doxed Just Saying's family yesterday, or is it somebody else?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
A lot of people are aware of that because it kind of we kind of put the hush on that pretty quick, but that account did dox Just Saying's family, and it happened Just saying had said something. She just said a little something spicy, didn't name names or anything. And as soon as that happened, and the only person to have that information, and I know this, and I'm 100%, the only person that had that information was French Fry Girl. Nobody else had that information. So if it's not her herself, she slid the information over for this account to go ahead and release the information about Just Saying's husband and family.
And that right there is the reason why I believe that account is Frenchie herself. For one, they talk just like Frenchie. Okay.
Yeah.
For two, Frenchie's not going to risk having another motherfucker on the internet turn on her and expose her for handing over Just Saying's docs. She's not going to do that.
Oh, especially with everything that Just Saying's going through, you're missing some milestones. Okay. With everything that she's going through, she wants to speak up. She wants to go after Just Saying again, but she doesn't fucking dare. Just like she wants to go live and show herself driving around Cornwall, but she knows that she is not in a position to do that anymore. So she's putting this off on other people, just like she says she has 4 people watching Shmi's house. Just like this other person all of a sudden docs Just Saying's family.
Listen, and that right there, Just Saying and her family being doxxed was Just Saying's like concern, right? That was her whole concern. That's why she wasn't speaking out and telling her side of the story with the Frenchie shit. And to Just Saying, I say now, well, what do you got to lose now? The thing you feared the most that Frenchie was going to do, she just did. So now Just Saying, step up, tell it all. Tell it all. What can she do? Dox you again? No.
That was the main thing about her being quiet, is because she didn't want, her family to have to deal with any of this. She wanted to leave them completely out of it. And that's exactly what happened. And she knew that.
Yeah, well, and now it's done. So now your biggest fear, she done did it. She done pulled the trigger. She done shot her shot. What else does she have left? Nothing. It's your turn now, Just Saying. She can't do shit to you.
No, but the thing is with Just Saying is like she doesn't have the energy for that. And Frenchie knows that. She's going through chemo. She has cancer. She's not about to get on YouTube and fight with anybody. And she's taking advantage of that situation as well.
Ain't that a damn shame? Seattle Sapphires Low Carb World, thank you so much for joining memberships. Rojo says, I was a supporter of FFG until she came after you, Yaba, AK, and Alex. Her YouTube supporters do not realize how evil she is in Twitter. She's disgusting. That's true. Jess, thank you for being a member for 9 months. Hey, Sham and Yaba. She's got nothing better to do with her time, huh? Couldn't beat me spending my precious time looking up 10-year-old public info. Nick Sikuga, I'm not sure how you say that. Thank you for the super chat. Not FF Gunt digging back 10 years just to find ammo. Love you, Yaba and Sam. Love you too, girl. Lady Spiteful K, thank you for joining memberships. And Kimberlina says, the same account doxed me for calling Dell fat. You're not going to tell me that's not Frenchie her damn self. Thank you, Kimberlina.
And Miss Del Pondu, Del Doe over there, the one who thinks she's hot shit because she created this fucking spreadsheet. Your spreadsheet's trash, bitch. Okay, by the way. She's over there with this Girl World Gossip account, gassing them up for doxing Just Saying and her family's information. It's pretty fucking disgusting knowing that she's going through cancer treatments and everything right now. Del's a no good motherfucker too.
Dell's a no good motherfucker. Dirtneck's a no good motherfucker. They're all good no good motherfuckers over there. You know who old Dirtneck is yucking it up with on the Twitter too?
All the Griff Gang, all the Kiwi farmers, where they mock her for being a Jewish woman. But that's her biggest gripe with me. She says, I support anti-Semitic behavior, but yet she's cozying up being buddies with people who mock her for being a Jewish woman. So make that make sense.
Yep. Becca James, thank you for being a member for 28 months. FFG went off on you when I defended you on X. Of course. That's right. Bunny, hammers in the chat for French fried girl. Hammers in the chat. And I'm going to say that. I'm going to say it here and now. Okay. We'll get into it a little later in the stream, but I'm going to say it here and now. I'm going to preface all this by saying I don't believe for a fucking minute that Morad hit Frenchie in the head with a hammer. That's a bold-faced lie. And we're going to get to it. So hammers in the chat, bitch. I don't know who it was, and I'm not going to out them, but somebody ordered merch from me. And in the notes section at checkout, they put something to the effect of, what is French fried girl's favorite fish? ... Hammerhead shark.
I think I know who that possibly could have been. If I had to guess, I would go with spiteful Pinky Jean, but what do I know?
All right, so back to the Twitter. All right, guys, it's gonna be a long one. Whatever. Okay, and this is Girl Word Gossip. By the way, I always have receipts. Okay, so what's this shit? Oh, a tax lien of $141.40 from the Indiana Department of Revenue paid. And listen, these are not. This is what people don't understand. And that's what I said on Twitter.
$141 as fucking if, bro.
These people don't even know what the fuck they're looking at. They don't understand it. They see a tax lien and think that we're out here not paying our taxes. In Indiana, and it may work like this in other states, I don't know. Okay, you file your tax return and then they get the tax return. You file your taxes, right? And you do your calculations on your H&R Block or whatever tax preparation website you did, and it says you owe this much money, right? So you file your taxes, you pay that much money, and that's it, right? Well, then the state of Indiana also gets your tax return, and they take your numbers and they do their own crunching of their own numbers. And sometimes they come back and say, you owe us another $141.40. Or sometimes they come back and say, you overpaid us by $128.39, whatever the case may be. But if you owe more money after the state looks at your tax return, it's an automatic lien. That's like how they notify you. Like they don't send, you don't get a letter in the mail from the Indiana Department of Revenue. No, you get a tax warrant from your county sheriff. And a tax warrant is just, again, it's a tax bill. It's a tax lien. It's all the same thing. It's just a fucking tax lien. But it gets filed with the county you live in because ultimately the state leaves it to the county to collect it. Meaning if you own property, the county is who will put the lien on it for this bill if you don't send a check in. That's all it is. Anyway, point is paid.
What of it anyways, bitch? What business? Why is it all of a sudden not even all of a sudden, this is what Frenchie has done. She has always concerned herself with other people's debts, which I find absolutely fucking insane considering her own background. And the fact that she's been so fucking poor until she came online and started reacting to Chantel. That's my biggest concern.
Literally, up until she started reacting to Chantel, she was a poor broke bitch who couldn't pay her $575 a month rent, $650 a month rent, $625, $660. You want to talk about motherfuckers not paying shit, Frenchie? And like I said, we did not care about your 8 evictions in 3 years and your arrest record until you came on Twitter talking about some bullshit. But look at this one. This is the last one she put. Girl World Gossip. This is Sam's dated during her relationship with Yaba. Bitch, no, it's not. This is also tax year 2015. Just because the tax lien got put on there when I lived in Sellersburg doesn't mean it was from them, motherfuckers. Anyway, about it. And then I'm not going to show it because I really don't care. But the bankruptcy, first of all, let's go back to this. Okay, hold on. I want to go back to Frenchie's actual tweet. Okay, here's Frenchie's tweet. She says 4 liens and 2 bankruptcies in just the last few years. Less Nintendos, more paying your fucking debts. Deadbeat meth fucker. So
deadbeat.
Using context clues here. She's not talking to me. She's talking to Yaba.
Yeah.
Yet the tax liens, okay, whatever. 3 of them were yours. 1 was mine. None of them from recent years, except for the 2023 for $120. It's paid. Look it up, bitch. Post that, Girl World Gossip. Post where it shows it was paid. But the bankruptcies, number 1, were mine. I filed bankruptcy 2 times, not her. So why is that on your tweet that's about Yaba? Number 2, they were not in the last few years. My first bankruptcy was discharged in 2003. How many years ago was 2003?
22.
22 fucking years ago. 22 years ago. The second time I filed bankruptcy was 10 years ago in 2015, and I withdrew that bankruptcy. I did not see it through to discharge. I took it back like it never fucking happened, okay?
What is it her business, though? What does it matter? What does it matter?
Doesn't matter. It's not her business. So exactly why on June 7th, 2025 are you coming through after you saw a picture of a fucking Nintendo Switch that got purchased? What, are you jealous? Where's your Nintendo Switch?
Yeah, big girl. She eats her money.
Oh, that's right. She eats her money. Yes, of
Eats
course.
her money. She's just like her sister.
What is your point? So all you did by saying 4 tax liens and 2 bankruptcies in the last few years, all you did was bring this down upon your head. And then she's got the nerve. What did she say? Oh, look, that's her threatening just Jamie. Do you remember the email you sent me years ago? I do. Doxer. And then, but look at this shit. So then she goes on when she's pressed about it again. This is your response. I'm sorry, LOL, tax liens and bankruptcy, where? And also, bitch, weren't you evicted like 20 times? Maybe less food and worry about your own bills, my guy. This is her response. She says, your big back demon of a wife has been evicted from everywhere she's ever rested that greasy head. Not true. And has a rap sheet longer than your jowls. Go eat a burger, something, you hangry meth fucker, Nazi sympathizer. The nerve of this bitch. Absolute nerve of that one. You want to talk about hold on,
Actually, Frenchie, weight loss surgery, it makes you not hungry. It's kind of crazy. You ought to try it.
God, that is wild, isn't it?
Uh-huh.
You want to talk about a fucking rap sheet? I would like to see the receipts on my rap sheet, please. I've admitted that I've been arrested once. It was a misdemeanor. And when was that? 2009. So how many years ago was that? How many years ago was 2009? What's 25 minus 9?
I think 16.
16 years ago?
Yeah.
I don't know. For a fucking misdemeanor, which, by the way, has been expunged, that don't exist no more either. Dumb
Thank
bitch.
you, Manning.
16 years ago. Okay, big fucking deal. It was a misdemeanor. Big fucking deal.
It definitely wasn't for domestic violence. I can promise you that much.
Right? Let's read this tweet dated March 30th, 2021. Yes, I beat the shit out of a man and got arrested. Yes, there's a bloody, crazy Joker face mugshot out there. He was my abuser. For 7 years, I got the shit kicked out of me on the reg. One day I didn't. One day I got the upper hand. Then he called the cops like a bitch. Really? Is that how it went, Frenchie?
Yeah, X to doubt. Sorry, don't believe it.
X'd out. So yeah, what you'll never find on me is a bloody, crazy Joker face mugshot. You won't find a domestic violence arrest or anything like that on me. So again, please, Frenchie, continue to
wait a minute. I think that, listen, you know what? I'm just now realizing and putting it all together. And I don't know why I'm just now doing this, but you know how like Chantel, rule number 1, Chantel lies.
Mm-hmm.
All the shit that we've heard from Frenchie, she's a black belt expert. She's got forearms that are really fucking like big muscles and shit. She's an accountant. She's gonna get a spite house. She's got BB. Like she's a fucking liar too.
Everything Frenchie says is a lie.
Yeah.
That hammer shit. So you're gonna tell me that you beat the shit out of Murad and you got arrested for it because he called the police like a bitch. But we're supposed to believe that Murad hit you in the head with a hammer and you didn't call the police? Okay, maybe you didn't. But did you seek medical treatment for this alleged head wound? And from what I understand is she claims that the hammer to her head is the reason why one of her eyes is wonky.
Do you know the damage a hammer would do to the head?
Yeah, I do. Actually. Yeah. So you got hit in the head with a hammer so bad that one of your eyes is fucked up over it. And you didn't go to the doctor? You didn't go to the emergency room? Yes, you did. So did the emergency room not report that? The doctor? Do they not do that in Canada? If you're seen in the emergency room and you've been assaulted with a hammer to the head.
What comes with that? You know from experience because you've been hit in the head.
I do know. That's why I said I know exactly the kind of damage it does. I've been hit in the head by my ex with a solid brass owl. And I took a blow to the head. I went to the emergency room. They called the police. The detective talked to me at the emergency room, took a report. I had to see a neurologist. I had to see an orthopedic surgeon because when I went to block it, I did my hand like this and it hit 2 of my fingers and the back of my head. I have medical records. I have medical bills. Like, you want to challenge me on my head injury by a blunt force object to the back of my head by my ex-abuser? I can bring the receipts. Can you? Can you, Frenchie? No, you can't. I don't believe it. I don't believe for a second that Frenchie's been arrested for domestic violence and Murad was never arrested, or there was no police report or nothing when he took a hammer to her head. Bullshit. You're lying. You're fucking lying. Autumn, thank you so much for the super chat. I was a fan of FFG, but I'm Yava and Sam gang for life. Thank you so much. We appreciate you, girl.
The whole hammer thing came from just trying to be more abused in Chantel. Like, it's always been about comparison, and I've went through it worse, or I'm better than you, or you're a deadbeat at paying your bills and I pay my bills so good and I'm the perfect cat owner, you're a fucking cat abuser. Like, it's always about fucking comparison. She's a weirdo.
And it's always trauma dumping. Yeah, and it's always one up.
She's
Dude, you
only
take
allowed
a blow,
trauma up. She's
you
the
take
only
a blow
one.
like that to the head, you're gonna talk wrong. I'll tell you that much. You're gonna talk wrong for a while. You won't say the right words. You won't be able to hold your train of thought. Like, you'll be fucked up taking a blow to the head. I had to do occupational therapy, physical therapy, speech therapy. I had to do all that shit. How come we don't hear about any of that when she's talking about this hammer she took to the back of the head, except for blaming it? That's why one of her eyes is wonky. That's not why one of your eyes is wonky. One of your eyes is wonky because one of your fucking eyes is wonky, bitch. Weirdo. Kimberlina said AK was trying to call it out and they called her. I don't know what that means, but thank you so much for the super chat, Kimberlina. I get the gist of it. Shit, I've lost where I am. I feel like my screen's not big enough. Sammy in Brooklyn, thank you for the super chat, hon. Born Jew here, nothing said, anti-Semitic, grasping at straws, so tired of it. Yes, thank you so much for the super chat, Sammy in Brooklyn. M-Dub Forever says, so Frenchie will get on her channel and say that her evictions are old news and were because of her abuse, etc., but is now going to dig up the same old shit on somebody else. Exactly. Only she's full of shit. She has been blaming these evictions on Murad and saying, I think that's
it's gonna get good. It's gonna get good. Y'all have to listen to this shit.
Yeah, that's where the story about the hammer to the head begins and ends. She needed to beef up and make more believable her story that all of these evictions that she has were because she was a battered and abused woman.
I'm gonna say the majority of the people probably did what we did, was like, I don't give a shit about her 10-year-old evictions. What do I care? I don't think that a lot of people, I'm not saying that not anybody did, but I don't think a lot of people looked at, I know I did not. And it wasn't until Sam started looking at this shit and she's breaking this shit down that I realized what a fucking bum this bitch actually is and has the audacity to talk about anybody else not paying bills, bitch. You're gonna die.
She's not just a bum. She's a bum. She's a scammer. We've been calling Frenchie a scammer for months now. I have the fucking proof right here. It's all in my fucking binder, bitch.
You're in her binder.
Scammer. These aren't just, Frenchie got evicted and she didn't pay rent for 3 months. I'm gonna call her a scammer. No, bitch. She's a legit fucking scammer.
Yes.
She scammed old, elderly, disabled, wheelchair-bound landlords for 11,000. Let's get into it.
We're not just coming on here to tell you guys this motherfucker was evicted. Like, there is stories to this shit, and you're about to hear it. It's great.
Man, I didn't realize that Canada's court records were so open and transparent. There's literally a word for word, play by play, like bullet points. Because look, this is all from a court hearing. The court literally says, and then they said this, and then they said this, and we're gonna read it all.
Yeah, we're gonna read it, Frenchie. I hope you're listening.
And it's okay, Frenchie. Go ahead. mycase.in.gov. Type my little name in. And you go read my shit, girl. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. You got my permission. Read my shit. But you're going to read my shit after I read yours, bitch. Dumb, thank you so much for the super chat. Says Milky showed proof Fatty is in Canada. She looks bad. That's what I hear. She does look bad. She's hanging on by a thread, guys. Thank you so much for the super chat. I have a ball, not a volleyball. Priscilla, thank you for being a member for 24 months. She laughed at me when I told her you witnessed a shooting. Of course she did.
Anybody who's came in Frenchie's chat and said something traumatic that they went through, she's immediately shot it down. She is the only, I've never seen anything like it, the only one who's allowed to experience any kind of fucking trauma. It's wild that people would even accept that on any level.
Because
you go to
she
any
is
creator,
a
you're gonna get
malignant,
some kind of sympathy, you know, something.
because she is a malignant narcissist sociopath of the worst fucking kind. It's really kind of scary. Priscilla, thank you so much, hon. Dungeons and Rosa says, if the hammer is why her eye is wonky, then why is her gunt wonky? Good question. Excellent question. We might just get to the bottom of it. I'm going to share this tab instead real quick. This is a second tweet related to the first. She says, oh, and P.S. I've been living with a restraining order against him for over a year now. Hold on, let me make it bigger. I've been living with a restraining order against him for over a year now. He doesn't know my phone number. He doesn't know where I am. I am free. I live for me. Yeah, we'll see about that.
Oh my God. Wow. The cringe. She's on there talking about how she has a restraining order against this person while she's actively breaking the restraining order. Aren't you not supposed to talk about the person, vice versa?
I'm pretty sure. And also, she posted the picture. Huh?
I was talking to Billy in your chat.
Oh God, you know that name gives me
I'm
okay.
sorry, silly Billy. There you go.
Okay, so she posted the picture of her and Murad and said he was evil but also a hottie in June of 2021. Which I find interesting because the last record we find of Murad anywhere in Canada, he was evicted in June of 2021. He was evicted for the final time in June of 2021. And that is the same time that that she posted that picture of him and said he was evil but also a hottie. Ooh. That damn dog. I swear for God, she's punching in for her night shift. She's working a double today. Lady Spiteful K, thank you for being a member for 16 months. Yes, I'm here for Sham and Yaba to drag FFG. Imagine looking like her and calling someone ugly. Yeah, no shit. Okay, so I'm also going to blow a hole right through the fucking middle of Dirt Neck's timeline where Murad is concerned, her and Murad's relationship is concerned. So she claims that she was in a relationship with Murad from 2012 to 2019. And I think the reason why she chooses 2012 is because that was the first time she was evicted, was June of 2012. And she has been blaming these evictions on Murad being abusive and her being in this abusive relationship with Murad. That's why she goes to 2012. Well, I have evidence that is going to point in the direction of Dirt Neck and Murad not getting together until 2014, 2 years later. And by the time that Dirt Neck and Murad get together in January of 2014, Dirt Neck has already been evicted 1, 2, 3 times on leases that were in her name only. And I am sure that these leases that are in her name only, the first 3 in 2012, let's see. Hold on. June of 2012, November of 2012, and then February of 2014. Those leases were in her name only, and I do not believe Murad was living with her and just not on the lease during those 2 years, because when Frenchie gets evicted the third time in February of 2014, the landlord notes that lease, mind you, this is the third eviction, that landlord notes that lease started December of 2013. It was a 1-year lease, but Frenchie left the property the following month in January of 2014. So she signs this lease. She's there for 1 month and then she leaves. Well, fast forward to July. So she leaves in January 2014 after just starting that lease. Where did she go? July of 2014, 7 months later, guess who's in eviction court? Not Frenchie again, Murad. Murad is in eviction court in July of 2014 for a lease that he started in his name only a year prior, June of 2013. Are you following me? So let's back up and go in real chronological order. Murad enters into a lease in his own name, June of 2013. Frenchie enters into a lease in her name only in December of 2013, 6 months later. The following month, January, Frenchie cuts out on her lease. 7 months later, Murad's being evicted from that June lease. Now, what makes me think that Frenchie, when she left that lease in January that was brand new, when she walked out on that lease in January, what makes me believe that she went and moved in with Murad? Well, because Murad says during the July 22nd, 2014 eviction hearing, where's my glasses? This one, for some reason, printed out really small. And it's almost the best one. This is what makes me think that Frenchie went to Murad's when she dipped out on that lease after the first month. Because Murad says during that hearing that, hold on. Here it is. He says, he, meaning Murad explains that in April of 2014, he was making preparations for his wedding planned for May of 2014, and he paid the May rent in advance as a budgetary measure. So if Murad is testifying in court in July of 2014 that he was planning his May wedding, and Frenchie walked out on her lease in January, and then there are literally 6 more evictions after this, with some of them with both of their names on them, that's where she went. Because according to Frenchie, she says she was in a relationship with him since 2012. So if he was planning a wedding in 2014, who the fuck else was he planning a wedding with? Right? All right. So there's that. That's just me. That was just me, kind of setting up for you guys why I think she's lying about the timeline. I'm going to stop screen sharing real quick. Why I think she's lying about the timeline of exactly when she was in a relationship with him. I think she stretched it back to 2012 because she wanted all of her evictions to be able to be blamed on Murad, and she would have had to have been in a relationship with Murad in 2012 in order to make that work. But no, I think they got together in 2014. Right after she signed that lease, and she just walked out on the lease and moved in with him. And that, coincidentally, 2014 is the first time Murad's name starts showing up in court records for evictions. So it's not like Murad was getting evicted before he met up with FFG, before he met her in 2014. But you know who was getting evicted before then?
French fried girl.
French fried girl. Let's begin. All right. Let's see. Eviction number 1. This lease started December 1st, 2011, and it was a 1-year lease. So she was supposed to go December 2011 to November 2012. She moved in December 1. She paid December, she paid January, she paid February. The landlord ends up filing eviction in June. And I guess, is it still this way in Canada? But it seems as if, at least in Montreal, that they can't file eviction until you're 3 months behind in rent, because every single one of these evictions is filed after they're 3 months behind in rent. Oh, Sassy Mama, thank you for asking. How much was the rent in the December 2011 lease? $575 a month. $575 a month. Pretty fucking cheap, right? So anyway, she enters into the lease December 2011. She pays December, presumably. She pays January. She pays February. By the time the landlord files eviction in June, he is suing for $1,725, namely the rent for months March, April, and May of 2012, plus any months going forward while the eviction is pending. So obviously June. Let me get because I'm gonna just total all the totals of all the judgments. Let me write this one down. So this one, she was evicted. So in this lease was only in Frenchie's name. She was ordered evicted. She did not go to court for this eviction. She was not present. So that landlord was awarded $1,725. I'll have you know, plus a legal cost of $76. And they all include interest. So she, I don't know. I was hoping Street Carp would be able to be here. This is one of, I know Street Carp's most favorite activities is calculating compound interest for us. But in any event, the judgment was issued June 11th, 2012 for $1,725 plus $76, whatever that, we'll just call it $1,800. So whatever the interest would be on $1,800 from June 11th, 2012 to now, unless of course this is paid. Dirt neck. You want to take to Twitter and post your receipt where you've paid central buildings, they're $1,800 plus interest. I'll be more than happy to scribble that one off the list.
Can you I just want to say something, okay? It's so funny that French Fry Girl, like her go-to is to say that this is all that we have. Bitch, I wasn't getting evicted. I've taken care of 3 kids and a meth head, and since you must know, okay? I mean, let me tell you something. Meth wasn't always his drug of choice. There was heroin. Oh, that was a doozy. There was a very serious pill addiction. Yeah. And you know what? I still managed to make do and make sure that the bills were paid. And they're yeah, none of that ever happened. There was no Section 8. So how is it that you didn't start getting, it looks like, your shit somewhat together until you started doing reactions? But boy, I've been out here surviving, taking care of kids and a fucking drug addict for what, 17 fucking years? That's the thing. These because I don't come on here and talk about my personal life and what I do and how I make money or any of that. These motherfuckers think I'm some kind of fucking drain on society. Like I don't know how to fucking make shit happen, make shit shake. Bitch, you don't see me and my fucking landlords and everything else and motherfuckers taking me for court. Hell no. Not only that, my kids never went without neither, bitch. Look at you, can't even imagine and manage to pay $575. Single woman, no dependents. Like, what is your fucking excuse, bro? You want to say this is all we got, bitch? No, I think it's pretty fucking clear to the internet at this point. This is all the fuck you got. If this goes down the drain, if you lose YouTube, you're the motherfucker gonna be struggling.
You're gonna be back to eviction court, bitch. You're gonna be back in eviction court, and my binder's gonna get bigger by the fucking month. Fucking freak. Shall I continue?
Yes, you should. And you got this coming, motherfucker.
Should have left it alone, dumb bitch. All right. So that was in June of 2012. She was evicted. All right. But never fear, because in May of 2012, she already signed a new lease. So the eviction, the hearing for the first eviction took place May 4th of 2012. That was the hearing date. And the judge wrote the order for the eviction June 11th. But Frenchie was already gone and we know that because she signed a new lease May of 2012, the same month that the first landlord filed the eviction. So this lease went from May 1st, 2012 to April 30th, 2013. And this time the rent is $625, $50 more than the last place. You couldn't afford the $575, Frenchie. I'm not really sure what made you think you're going to scrape up another $50 a month. And look at that. You weren't able to. Once again, Frenchie moved in May, $625 a month. She paid May, she paid June, she paid July. By the time the landlord filed eviction in November, she owed $1,875, which was August, September, and October rent. And then, of course, she would owe November rent while the eviction was pending. So the landlord said that the lease was May 1 to April 30th, $625 a month. Tenant owes rent for August, September, October. And this eviction, the hearing was November 13th, 2012. The court decided more quickly that time. By November 21st, the eviction had gone through. So she owed $1,875 plus $76 fee plus interest from the date of November 2012. All right, so that's $1,951 plus interest. Soulless, thank you so much for joining memberships, hon. I appreciate you supporting my channel. I've been missing. Oh shit, hold on. Where was I last? Soulless, thank you so much for the super chat. FFG's a dirty sloth heart garbage half bread. Thank you for the super chat, Soulless. That was a lot. Guppy, thank you for being a member for 21 months. My fave two skinny lesbians of Indiana. You know what? Hey, listen, I'm gonna tell you here now. Everybody and anybody who ever purchased what was the shirt? My two favorite fat lesbians live in Indiana.
Oh
if you ever purchase that shirt for me from my merch store, you send me an email and I will replace your shirt with my two favorite skinny lesbians live in Indiana.
Already? We're not going to give you some time. I mean, it's fine. I mean, it's going to happen eventually, right?
you got the surgery, babe.
Yeah, we're good. Good to go.
Now, me on the other hand, it's still questionable. When I tell you guys, I went out of town for my grandson's kindergarten graduation. I left Thursday after work. I came back Saturday morning. No, I didn't. I left Thursday after work. I came back Friday night. I was 10. The scale was up 10 pounds. And it's just, I don't know. It was horrible. I'm having a real hard time
because her reaction is, I don't know what happened. Well, I can imagine what happened. It sounded like a good time to me, honestly. That is what I call a good time, you know? I don't want to wake up and not know where I am. I want to wake up the next day and get on the scale and see a gain of 10 pounds. That's not how I know I had a good fucking time, okay?
No, Kimberlina, it really was water weight. And I'm telling you, it's hard to get that shit off. I don't know, whatever.
You're fine, babe. You're fine. Anyways, continue.
Okay, so listen, guys, shut up. Stay on track. Okay, so she went immediately from the first eviction, signed a new lease. She got evicted from that one November of 2013. Oh my gosh. So the eviction order was signed November 13th, 2012. Guppy, thank you so much for being a member for 21 months. Soulless, thank you for joining memberships. Appreciate you. All right. So the eviction order was signed November 13th, 2012. Guess what? Frenchie started a new lease December 1st, 2013.
God, how do you live in that many places? That's
hold on. That was 2012. Hold on. So she's missing for like a year, bitch. This wasn't immediate. She's missing for a year because this eviction was November of 2012. The next time we see a lease from her getting evicted from a lease was a year later, December of 2013.
Moved home.
Where did you go for a year? Let me just make sure this is not a typo. Hold on.
Home.
Hold on. 2012. Yeah. You went back to her mom's for a year. That's where she went. Didn't you? Okay. So she goes to her mom's for a year. And then December 1st, 2013, once again, Frenchie enters into a lease in only her name. This is the one that we talked about already, where she signed the lease December 1, 2013. But according to the landlord, in the eviction paperwork, because he still had to file eviction because she never paid and she signed lease. The landlord says the evidence shows that the tenant left the accommodation during the month of January 2014 and owes, are you ready for this? $3,895.
Holy shit. What?
The rent was $625 a month.
Did she never pay?
She paid nothing.
How many months did she pay while she was there?
She paid nothing.
What?
Yeah, she paid obviously December to get in because no one's gonna let you in, without paying the first month. Mads T, thank you so much for joining memberships, hon. Oh my God, I'm still this thing. Solus joined. Oh my God, goodbye, Kyle gifted 5 Samantha Jean memberships. I missed them. Shit. Hold on. Thank you so much for the gifted memberships. Who'd we get? Busted Can of Biscuits, Autumn C, Amy May, Mango Kush, and Classy Kitty. Stacy, thank you for joining memberships. I appreciate you, girl. And Mads T, you as well. Thank you. Okay,
Dude,
yeah.
if we did that stuff over here in America, like you would never be able to rent.
Yeah, I know.
You
Isn't that
couldn't get a
crazy?
place. Nobody would rent to you. How does that work in Canada? That sucks.
Who's renting to her? This is wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, that says the landlord requests termination of the lease and the eviction of the tenant, the recovery of the rent, $3,270, as well as the rent due at the time of the hearing, blah, blah, blah. This lease is from December 1, 2013 to November 30th, 2014, $625 a month.
Oh my God.
So then Frenchie did not show up for court. Court was on January 30th, and the only people that showed up were the lessor's agent, which is the landlord. So she did not show up. So that is a judgment of $3,895 plus $79 legal fee. 9, 10, 17, 9.
How are you talking about anybody? How? I don't understand that. Talking about people paying their bills and shit. Like, how do you? Kimberlina says you missed her super chat, hun.
Oh shit, Kimberlina. Hold on, honey. I am struggling here. Oh, Dale, thank you for joining memberships, hon. I appreciate you. Wait a minute, Kimberlina, where is it?
FW11, yes, she's a serial eviction bandit. She really is. I think it might already passed. Let me see if I can see it.
I read the one where you said AK was trying to call it out and they called her something. I don't see anyone other.
I think that was the one. That's the only one.
Honey, I thought I read that. Thank you so much for the super chat. What did Katie Cake say? She's sliding by. Yeah.
How do you pay 1 month of rent? So how long was she there and did not pay?
Okay, so she signed the lease in December. She was there in December. She paid December, and then she left in January and didn't pay anything more. But you can't just walk out on your lease. If you leave before your lease is over, they can sue you for it or whatever.
Okay, well that's a little bit different. I thought she would. I mean, it's still whatever, but still okay.
No, yeah, this one she didn't stay there. She moved out. Why? Why do you think she moved out? Where did she go? I'll tell you where she went. She went to Maraud's.
Ah, okay.
So she gets evicted in January of 2013. By the way, that's $3,974 that she owes. Who was it? Tarzan Enterprises Inc. Tarzan plus interest from January of 2013. All right. So then this is why I think she goes to Murad. So she skips out on that. Murad at this point in time, he's in his own lease that he started in June of the prior year, June of 2013. Yep. And it was a 1-year lease. And by July, his landlord has him in eviction court. So
wow.
He shows up, according to the court record. He comes to court. The hearing's on July the 7th. And this one
goes to court. He shows up. She doesn't.
Yes. Murad showed up. So it says here, the landlord requests the termination of the lease and the eviction of the tenant, just one, not plural, tenant, one, singular. The recovery of the rent. So the rent at Murad's place was $660. Okay. It says the lease is from June 30th, 2013 to July 31st, 2014, monthly rate of $660 at the time of the hearing. Okay, at the hearing, it says, at the hearing, the tenant gave the landlady, so it was a woman, a check for $660 dated July 1st, 2014. This check constituted payment of the rent for the month of July. So that's the month they're in court, July of 2014. He shows up to court with July's rent, okay? But the landlord says, does admit that that Murad paid April and he paid June and he just paid July in court. But there's still a question about May. So it says, however, it only remains to be determined whether the May rent is due. The tenant, Murad, maintains that he owes nothing for the month of May, and to this end, he produces 2 receipts signed by the caretaker. So the caretaker is a man, I think, named Mr. Rosallo. So the landlord is a woman, landlady, and she has a caretaker. I think this is an elderly woman. So the caretaker, it says, he produces 2 receipts signed by the caretaker. The first receipt indicates that an amount of $660 was given to the caretaker on April 1st, 2014, with the note rent of April 2014 on it. Okay, so that's a receipt for April's rent. Then a second receipt dated the next day, April 2nd. The second receipt dated April 2nd, marked rent of April 2014, indicates that an amount of $660 was paid in cash to the caretaker. So the caretaker on 2 different days, April 1st, wrote a receipt for the rent for April's rent, and then the very next day writes another receipt and writes on there April 2014 rent, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the court says the tenant is not expected to pay the same rent twice, and the tenant insists that the second payment of $660 was an advanced payment of the rent for the month of May. Now, don't forget, Frenchie moved in with him in January. So this is by April, they're scamming the fucking landlord. So Murad is telling the court, I paid May's rent the day after I paid April's rent. I paid April's rent on April 1st. I paid May's rent on April 2nd. If you were going to do that, why wouldn't you just pay them both on April 1st?
Exactly.
No
doing 2 separate days.
Yeah, no explanation for why you pay $660 on one day, $660 on the next day. And then also, when you accepted that receipt from the caretaker on April 2nd, why didn't you say, hey, wait a minute, this second receipt you gave me also says April rent, but this is my advanced payment for May's rent. Can I get a corrected receipt so that it reflects that this is an advanced payment for May's rent? No, they did not do that. They did not do that. So I find that suspect. And that's something that's not mentioned in the court paperwork. Nobody argued that. So I'm kind of disappointed that wasn't brought up, but I wasn't there. Rachel, hey, thank you so much for gifting 1 Samantha Jean membership. I appreciate you, girl. Oh, Jenny got it. Congratulations. Okay, so Murad insists that the second receipt was for May's rent in advance. It says he explains that in April of 2014, he was making preparations for his wedding. Has Dirtneck ever indicated that she and Murad were engaged to be married in the year of 2014, the year of our Lord 2014?
Jeff, hey, that's a good question. I've never watched Frenchie, so somebody in the chat.
I've never heard any
follower.
checker.
Yeah.
What did Jeff say? Oh, it's okay. You're here now, hon. You could always. Oh my God, we're an hour and 10 minutes in already. Holy shit!
This is great, though. This is better than court TV.
Didn't I said in chat today, and I don't think you've seen it, but when you were talking about Dirtneck a little bit this morning, and I said in chat, I said, Dirtneck, the last motherfucker you want drilling down on you is me.
Yeah.
This is the son of my drill, bitch.
Especially considering her history. And if she knew what her history was, she should have just shut the fuck up. I don't care. I don't care who pays. That ain't got nothing to do with me. I don't know what, but when you fucking sit there and want to talk about other people's debt, no, babe, we're going to take the time. I'm glad you did because it gets better.
Well, and sitting down and reading word for word everything in these records, like who's going to do that? I never did before. Didn't care. Who put a 1 in the chat, because these records are available publicly. This has been talked about now for a couple of years now. The chatter's been out there. It's been out there. Who took the time to go read and see what it was all about? Nobody, because nobody cared. But Dirtneck, you're letting the grift gang and the fail farmers gas your ass all the way up. And now look what you done got yourself into. Oh, we're going to prove you're a fucking scammer, bitch. All right, here we go. So back to that court hearing where the landlord saying, okay, so Murad's saying that was me prepaying May's rent. The caretaker, though, says the caretaker, Mr. Rosalio, points out that on April 2nd, 2014, the tenant gave him the sum of $660 in cash payment for that month's rent, for April's rent. Believing he had failed to give the tenant a receipt, a week later, he placed a receipt dated April 1st in the tenant's mailbox. He acknowledged.
Oh my God. Can you
Mhm.
say it again?
Yes. So
Say it again.
the caretaker points out that on April 2nd, the tenant gave him a sum of $660 in cash, which was payment for that month's rent for April. Believing he had failed to give the tenant a receipt, a week later, the caretaker placed a receipt dated April 1 in the tenant's mailbox. He acknowledges having made a mistake and never having received a second payment of $660. So they took advantage of the caretaker's mistake. The caretaker took the payment in cash on April 2nd, wrote him a receipt. A week later, was like, shit, I don't think I gave him either he didn't think he did, or perhaps, I don't know, maybe Murad or Dirtnet contacted the caretaker and said, we didn't get a receipt. Can we get a receipt for that cash payment?
Wow.
So the caretaker, why would a week later the caretaker all of a sudden be like, oh shit, I think I forgot to give him a receipt. Let me just write him one. No. They tried it and it worked. Pay him in cash. A week from now, we'll call and tell him, hey, we didn't get a receipt. We need that receipt. Bam, you got two receipts. That's right. And I'll bet you that's some shit that Dirtneck was pulling
Spite receipt.
In the prior evictions. I'll bet you she wasn't paying 3 months rent. I bet she was paying a month in cash and pulling this exact same scam.
Damn.
It's a fucking scam. So the court says the court concludes that neither the tenant's version nor that of the caretaker are corroborated. So basically the court's like, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know who to believe here. So it says, moreover, whatever, it cites a civil code. Don't care. All right. So then it says, however, the two receipts prove that the lessor received two payments of $660 in April 2014. Considering that the tenant only pays $660 per month, one of these payments constitutes the rent for the month of May 2014. So the court accepted the two receipts as being legitimate because these are receipts after all. You did write the receipt. You gave it to the tenant. However, the court, I feel like, should have paid more attention to the fact that they're both dated April. They're not just both dated April. They're both noted for April's rent. In my opinion, I feel like that corroborates the caretaker's version of events that
I agree.
I accidentally, or perhaps was, misled, persuaded, scanned into giving them two receipts for April that they're now, that Murad's now trying to say one was for April, one was for May. No. So that's too bad. The courts in Canada are pretty fucking cutthroat, and you're going to hear more about that here in a minute. Okay. So basically, this eviction case, since they went ahead and gave Murad credit for the May rent, therefore they were the court only awarded the landlord the $79 in legal fees, and that judgment was against Murad. So I'm not going to put that on my tally. All right, I'm going to keep it. I'm going to be fair about it. All right, so that lease is the one that went from June 2013 to July 2014, and this eviction took place in July of 2014, so it was the end of the lease. So the next lease that they started, now this one is in both of their names. This is the first time there's a lease in Dirtneck's name and Murad's name, which is another thing that leads me to believe these first two evictions dating back to 2012, June of 2012 and November of 2012, they were only in Frenchie's name. I don't think that her and Frenchie and Murad were together. For one,
I agree.
This third lease, I'm sorry, there were 3 leases in only Frenchie's name before
she's
this.
embarrassed, and if she doesn't make it look like that she was in this abusive relationship is the reason why she could not pay rent, then it makes her look bad. She feels like now that is her excuse, that is her out. Now she can talk about everybody else being bums, not paying their bills because she's saying, "Oh, I only got evicted because I was in this relationship," and it's obvious that she was not. You're proving it right now. When they were in a relationship, their leases were together.
Now I'm looking at you. Yeah, exactly. The 3 evictions before then it was only in her name. And that third lease that was only in her name, the leases overlapped. Her lease and Murad's lease overlapped.
Yes. So
you were not living together.
Yeah. So how many evictions does she have just on her own? Where you go?
Shit.
Wasn't it 3?
No. Well, up until this point, it was 3 on her own. So there was 1,
3 on her own.
2, 3 on her own. Then Murad had the 1 on his own. Then we get to the first one that's in both of their names. That one, the very first lease they signed in both of their names, gets messy. So messy from jump. Hold that thought.
It's really good.
They sue that landlord. And then that landlord has to evict them. It took 2 evictions to get them. 2
more scammer shit.
And spoiler, they never paid rent there at all.
Yeah.
Hold on. Yamano, thank you so much for the super. Oh, I missed some shit still. God dang it. Hold on. Wicked Crafter, thank you for being a member for 19 months. Blistering French fries on X so late here now. She mad. Thank you so much, Wicked Crafter. She should be. Callie's Bathroom Studio, thank you for being a member for 18 months. What's that thing she says? Oh, yeah. Bloop. That was a banger, girl. Solus, thank you for the super chat. FFG ran a choo-choo train on the landlords. And Yamano spite by proxy. Didn't Frenchie also say that someone was going to pay her for a quick marriage and a green card? Did she? Solus, thank you for the super chat. Yamano, thank you for the super chat. Did she? Sesthe Mama says, I remember that. Clarissa explains it all, says she did. Fondue Spider Bitch Eva Pondu says she did say that. And Bunny's still in the chat throwing the motherfucker hammers at a girl. Silly Billy says, I'm surprised she didn't end up in jail. Okay, so listen. So this one we're about to talk about, the next one, after they scammed that landlord out of $660, that was the first one in both of their names. But then after that, which this next eviction happens in, well, he finally gets them out of there in April of 2015. The next lease starts in July of 2015, also ends in eviction in Frenchie's name only. The one after that, May of 2016, also ends in eviction, Frenchie's name only. The next one, this lease starts in August of 2016, also ends in eviction, Frenchie's name only. The next time we see either of their names in an eviction after June of 2016, actually the eviction took place December of 2016. Yes, December of 2016. We don't see any more evictions on Frenchie's name after December of 2016. Hold on. I have to correct that note. Okay. The next time we see is Murad's name appears in an eviction in 2021. September of 2021. So the last time Frenchie got evicted, December of 2016, where did she go? How is it that all of a sudden she's been getting evicted back to back to back since June of 2012, but all of a sudden December 2016, Frenchie gets her shit together and she don't get evicted no more? Bullshit. She moved in with her mom.
Which explains present day her living situation, because nobody can understand how she got this controlled
Rent controlled apartment.
controlled apartment. And then now that we're starting to put the pieces together, I'm under the same belief that you are, that she's locked in because it's very possibly her mom's old apartment.
Because I remember hearing that like when her mom got sick and the time of her mom's death, the story was that they lived in the same building.
Yes.
No, bitch. They lived in the same fucking apartment. Frenchie is shacked up in her mom's apartment, and it has been since December of 2016.
Possibly. That one we can't confirm, but that is, that makes the most sense, but you can't say for sure. Yeah.
All signs lead to that. Deli says, didn't someone say she lived in a hotel? I will say there are periods here where it's like, okay, where were they from? Like, for example, I have a note here. Where were they from May to August of 2016? Because like there'll be an eviction that has like a date they have to be out, and then the next lease doesn't start for 2 or 3 months. So yeah, were they shacking up in cheap hotels during that time? Like, yeah, there are periods where it's like, where were they?
This is so important, guys. It's not just necessarily like listening to her past. She's obviously the same person that she was, because what you all don't know, and the reason that I started to go so hardcore about the fucking BBJ thing, because I was told that was planned for months, and it was planned for months because she knew once she got her hands on that cat that it was going to pay, and it was going to pay big, and it fucking did. It fucking did. And let me tell you something. It was a very reliable source who I'm not going to fucking mention, but she's in this community and she stays quiet because she doesn't want to be doxxed. That's why. And that's why this and what they did with all of this scamming these landlords matches up with her behavior now. She makes everybody else to be the piece of shit scumbag. She's the fucking savior. And yes, did Chantel abuse and neglect BBJ? Yes. But did Frenchie definitely exaggerate some of that? The truth of the matter is she did. It doesn't mean that Chantel's not a neglectful pet owner, because she is. But did she exaggerate some of that for obvious effect and money grab? She did. That's just the truth of the matter.
Hold on. Let me
take away what Chantel did. What?
Let me give you a real quick example of how Frenchie exaggerated the BBJ thing. If you go back and listen to her stream, and I watched them both recently, but the stream, like the day after I guess it wouldn't be the day after she got the cat. It was, or maybe it was right after she got BBJ and took BBJ to the vet, and she came back and reported that the vet said this, the vet said that. In the same breath that she is saying how bad the cat was neglected, she also says the vet said they couldn't believe how good she looked for her age. Well, which one is it? Is she so terribly neglected?
We know what Chantel did to BBJ. We've seen it for ourselves. Chantel was not taking BBJ to get her arthritis medication that she needed. I think she had some urinary tract infections, which were true. We know that about the nail situation. She was very neglectful of BBJ, absolutely. But Frenchie absolutely did exaggerate a lot of things in that case. And the paperwork that old Hater Tater has posted over there doesn't match up. It doesn't make sense.
Yes. So if you recall, FFG posted the records from the vet, but in French and blurry. And Hater Tater translated them, and I'm pretty sure that's still the pinned tweet on Hater Tater's Twitter.
What is the big deal about giving the community an update of the cat, of saying where the cat is, it's in a family, it's happy, or that she passed away? The only thing that makes sense is, again, what a different reliable source told me that, again, wants to stay silent for good reason, is that she just fucking pawned the cat off on somebody, ended up falling out with them, which is not hard to believe, and she doesn't fucking know.
She falls out with
everybody. Does she care? Odds are no.
Nope, absolutely not. Rojo, thank you for the super chat. No wonder FFG smokes so much weed. She's trying to forget her scamming past. Listen, this behavior that and this is coming from Frenchie's own mouth. She says that that she claims that she and sometimes when she talks about Murad, she tells a story that she was this 7-year abuse victim. She got the shit beat out of her, and she's just a domestic violence survivor. But in other times when she talks about it, she tells a different version, and she literally says she gave it as good as she got it. She went round for round. She beat his ass just as much, and she ultimately got arrested for it, which she must have. If she's owning an arrest, it must be out there. So it sounds more like these two were literally just no good pieces of shit, probably junkies, beating the shit out of each other and squatting and scamming landlords. Let's get to it. Okay. We haven't even scratched the surface, you guys. You think this shit's bad so far? We haven't even gotten to the real heinous shit. Baba Spite Bowie, thank you so much for being a member for 16 months. She thought May's situation would be a payout too. She sure did.
That's true.
She sure did. And that was some sick shit. Thank you for saying that. Wicked Crafter, thank you for the super chat. Someone posted a pic of Murad on my X thread against my theory. No judgment, but it appears more deliberately posed for Gigi's type. I got questions now. Thank you, Wicked Crafter, for that. Thank you for the super chat. Okay, so listen. So where we left off. Frenchie is being evicted now for the third or fourth time. She signs a new lease December of 2013. According to the court paperwork, she moved out of the apartment 1 month later, January 2014. Fast forward to July of 2014. It's the last month of Murad's lease at his apartment that's in his name. He's getting evicted. He scans the landlady out of $660. The next time we see eviction court, it's now in Frenchie and Murad's name together. And this lease started, shockingly, the month after the eviction, where they scammed the landlady out of $660. August 1st, 2014. So he got evicted July 2014, scammed the 660, got away with that. The new lease in both of their names started August 1st. So we know for a fact now they're together. Okay, so this lease starts August 1st of 2014 through June of 2015. The rent is $650 a month, and they're both on the lease for the first time. The lease starts August 1st. They move in August 1st. On September 3rd, 1 month later, there is a court case filed, but it is not what you think. It is not the landlord filing to evict them 1 month later, as you might think it would be. It's not. This one is Murad and Frenchie suing the landlord 1 month after they move into this apartment. You ready for it? Here we go. Landlord's name is Harris Morrison, and according to the court, it says on September 3rd, 2014, the tenants requested termination of their lease as well as damages in the amount of $6,884.33. They are 1 month into the lease, and they file a lawsuit against the landlord, $6,884.33, and they want out of their lease. That's important to remember. It's important to remember.
1 month in.
They went out. They want $6,800, almost $6,900. October 1st, so 1 month after that, the tenants amend their claim. If you guys watched my last live stream about the Hussey court cases, we talked a lot about amended this, amended that. So they amended their claim, claiming an additional sum of approximately $2,800 in damages, as well as $2,000 in punitive damages. So if you're following along, the initial lawsuit was for $6,884. 1 month later, which would be the second month into the lease, they amend it and they add another $4,800 for a grand total of $11,684. Oh shit! I just kicked you out. No, I didn't. Oh God, what's this? Why did it do that? Sorry.
I don't know. It's fine.
$11,684.33 is what Murad and Frenchie are suing their brand fucking new landlord for. Knowing good and goddamn well neither one of them pay their fucking rent. The nerve of them. All right, so let's get into it. This one's lengthy. Stop me if you have comment. So this lease was for $650 a month. It says it appears first that the parties are bound by lease for the period of August 1, 2014 to June 30, 2015 at a monthly rent of $650. For this price, the lessor, which is the landlord agrees to pay the fuel cost for heating and hot water, as well as the electricity cost and water tax. So this is $650, all utilities included. But wait, there's more. The landlord also undertakes to provide the tenants with internet. $650 a month includes gas, water, electricity, and internet. But there's more. There's more. The landlord also agrees that they will be able to do their laundry in the laundry room of this building. It says it should be noted that the tenants are currently renting the basement of a duplex building while the landlord lives on the ground floor. So they rented this landlord's basement. It says, although the tenants suspect that this basement is being rented to them illegally, since their address does not appear in the land register of the city of Montreal, the court does not have sufficient evidence to conclude in this sense and declare that the present lease has an illicit object and therefore is null and void. So basically, the court says we don't have enough evidence to declare this lease null and void because you think he's renting his basement to you illegally. All right. Okay, so it says, furthermore, in support of their request to terminate this contract, the tenants allege that since moving into this accommodation, they have been living in a hellish situation, a situation that has become untenable in which they cannot continue like this. Not only do they have very minimal enjoyment of the rented premises, but they are constantly being threatened, even harassed by employees or agents of the landlord, they also allege. Wow. Okay. It goes on. Moreover, the landlord failed to make the repairs that were necessary when they moved in, repairs that they ultimately made themselves. Oh, let me just note here that this is all comes from the hearing, and the landlord did not show up to the hearing. So Frenchie and Murad basically were able to tell the court whatever they wanted to tell, and the landlord was not there to dispute it or tell his side. Why did the landlord not come to court? We'll get to that. Scammers. We'll get to that. All right. So the landlord failed to make the repairs that were necessary when they moved in, repairs that they ultimately made themselves. He also continues to fail to provide them with internet services promised in the lease. For all these failures of the landlord or its employees, they suffer serious harm and wish to leave without delay while requesting compensation. That's very important, that part. They wish, so they're telling the court, we want to move out immediately without delay. We want out of our lease. And we also want $11,000. What did I say? Whatever it was, over $11,000 in compensation. Because spoiler, they didn't leave. They didn't leave. They had to be forced out. Okay. So more fully, the tenants testified that they signed this lease during the month of July 2014, which, if you recall, that was the same month that Murad was in eviction court for his previous residence, where he scammed the lady out of $660. So it says right there, they signed the lease that month. Look at them, just lease hopping. So it says the tenants testified that they signed this lease during the month of July 2014 after having visited the accommodation with a friend of the landlord. So it was a friend of the landlord that showed them the basement dwelling. It says the landlord uses a wheelchair and could not go down to the basement with them. So they're renting this basement apartment from their wheelchair-bound landlord, who apparently is so disabled that he requires nursing staff. He has nursing staff that also lives on the property to help him. Like, that's the degree of his disability. So they did view the basement apartment. They toured the basement apartment. They admitted to the court that they toured the basement apartment. They still rented the basement apartment and then immediately started making complaints about the condition of the apartment, and filed suit within a month of moving in against this landlord who's wheelchair bound, who has rented to them an apartment for what, $625 a month, all utilities included, internet included. I'm sorry, $650. All utilities, internet, and the use of his laundry. And this is how they repay him. Okay, so they said, as they chose to rent this accommodation following their visit, the landlord asked them to buy a lease form for him, which they did, a form for which he never reimbursed them, they specify. And I think later on in the claim, it says they paid $2 for this lease form, and they literally included that in their lawsuit. They wanted their $2 back. Okay, it says when they moved in on or around August 1st, 2014, they found the accommodations very dirty. So are you telling me that the accommodations were not very dirty on July 1st when you toured the accommodations and signed the lease? You know what I mean? Like, if they were very dirty, if the accommodations were very dirty, why'd you sign the lease and move in, bro? I wouldn't have. I'd have been like, I'm not living in that fucking dump.
Fucking crackheads, bro. This shit is wild.
I told you. Didn't I tell you?
Yeah.
I told her a lot about my drive home from work today. I was like rapid fire telling her all this shit. I was like, I wasn't going to tell you. I was going to make you find out everything on the stream. But I started telling her, but I told you there was so much more. I told you. Chins Wasta Crimes, thank you for the super chat. What kind of person does that? It's a really good question. All right. There's so much more. There's so much more. Okay. So they moved in and they found the accommodations very dirty. So they set about painting and cleaning. I'm sure you did, Frenchie. I'm sure you immediately started painting and cleaning. I call bullshit on that. A few days later, they noticed several defects in the accommodations, problems which they immediately reported to the landlord. First, the stove included in the rental price did not work. Okay, so their stove didn't work. In addition, the kitchen sink faucets were broken and water was leaking profusely onto the floor, requiring them to place a seal on it. In the living room, a window was missing. You mean to tell me the window was missing when you took possession of the unit? I'm sorry, if I'm renting a basement unit from somebody and I tour it and it's dirty and there's exposed wiring in the kitchen, which is mentioned later, and there's a missing window, I'm not signing the fucking lease. I'm moving on to the next one, or I'm going back to my Motel 8, right? And getting real good and high, probably eating something really, really, really comforting. I might even, crack a bottle of wine, and then get back to the house hunting the next day. But the last fucking thing I'm going to do is rent that motherfucker. Anyway, whatever. I think they saw an opportunity is what I think. I think they saw this disabled man, this wheelchair bound man, who obviously the man has some kind of money, right? Because he has a nursing staff. He has an elevator in his house. He's just renting out his dump of a basement for some reason. I think I think he was a fucking mark.
Same thing with the BBJ situation. It all makes sense, bro. It all ties in together.
Yeah. Scamming ass, grifting ass motherfucker, Frenchie. You can't even fucking deny it. Freya's Poser Cats, thank you for being a member for 10 months. People need to have more fear of Sam's binders. Yeah, respect the fucking binders, bitch.
It's a good time.
Thank you, Freya. Okay, let's continue. Well, I don't think he was on a fixed income, Pat Ray, because he eventually ends up getting a lawyer. Okay.
Well, he has money.
Yeah, he has money. The dude has money.
It's just an old basement. You know what I mean? And not saying that the place is ran down, but it's a basement. But go ahead.
Okay, so it says in the living room, a window is missing. I love the way they write this stuff. Then it says, what's more, and to their great displeasure, the internet service was not working, not having been connected, contrary to the clause in the lease providing for this very important benefit for them. The tenants also complained that the garage door was left open. Garbage was kept inside the building without consideration for the unpleasant odors. So she literally is living in a fucking basement that smells like hot garbage. That's exactly the type of accommodations I would expect at a dirt net. Hold on, I gotta fix myself. Okay. Anyway. It says garbage was kept inside the building without consideration for the unpleasant odors it gave off in the corridor adjoining their home. They also complained that the driveway leading to their home was cluttered with garbage containers, trash, and cigarette butts. Again, did you not see any of these things when you toured the apartment a month prior? And I'm sorry, I'm not going to believe for a second that the cigarette butts aren't Frenchies herself, but anyway. It says they also informed him, the landlord, that his private elevator was being used far too much by members of his domestic and nursing staff. So he has multiple employees, domestic and nursing staff in this house. He has a private elevator. They're telling him that his nursing and domestic staff are using his elevator too much and it's too noisy. It's too noisy.
Is the address of that house on there?
No, they do not put the addresses on here.
Oh, man, I want to look it up, bro.
I mean, we could probably work something out. We could probably figure something out. I just haven't had the time to look, but you know me, when I start looking, I usually find what I'm looking for. Very good. Thank you so much for the super chat. That binder is annotated, stick noted, and probably got diagrams and shit. Watch yourself, dirt neck. That's right. Very good. I've been working on this all day at work. Every time I have a spare second, I was opening my binder.
She's so proud of herself. I'm proud of you too, babe.
This was so much fun.
I'm gonna love you real good tonight for this.
I know you are. You guys, I wish I could tell you what happened to me at work, but I can't. But I wish I could. Let me compose myself.
Go ahead.
You're gonna love me real good tonight for that too. So, what I had to suffer through. Okay, where are we at? Okay. They also informed him that his private elevator was being used far too much by members of his domestic or nursing staff, as was the laundry room at all hours of the day and night. And noisy use which prevented them from living peacefully in their accommodations, they stated. So they're crying that the landlord and his staff are using his elevator and his laundry room too much and it's too noisy. Following the reporting of these problems to the landlord, they met with the landlord on August 13th to find a solution. So they move in August 1st, and 13 days later, they're already having a meeting with the landlord about all their little complaints, right? So it says the landlord was initially cooperative, ensuring them that he would see to it that the defects were repaired, and that the place was kept clean with regard to the emptying of trash and its storage. Excuse me, I'm drinking.
I'm drinking that water. You want me burping, dummy?
I'm drinking this. I tried to get a sugar-free Red Bull on the way home from work, and there was none. I'm having a bad day.
Let her burp and have her water, God.
Sorry, guys. Anyway.
Go ahead.
Okay. And I have no regular water.
They're out in the garage. They're in the garage for refrigerator.
Oh.
Or Bacon then took them off for football.
Either way about it. Okay. Anyway. Okay. So it says the landlord was initially cooperative, assuring them that he would see to it that the defects were repaired and that the place was kept clean and the trash, blah, blah. He also assured them that they would be entitled to the internet service provided for in the lease. Now, mind you, the landlord is not here. So he can't even say, the internet was never included in the lease. That, whatever. Anyway, he's not there. It says the landlord also agreed to limit the hours of use of the laundry room, which he promised them would now be from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. He also agreed that the elevator would be used as little as possible and essentially by himself. aware of the disturbing repercussions they were experiencing as a result of its use. So the landlord was like, I'll fix it all. All right. I'll fix the kitchen sink. I'll fix the window. I'll take care of the trash. I'll take care of it all. We'll fix it all. We'll remedy everything. Okay. All right. Freya's Poser Cat for a sugar-free Red Bull. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. And Tay Ozzy Girl Wars Tech Support. Thank you for being a member for 4 months. FBI Sham FCU Fatty Crimes Unit. Dun dun dun. Thank you. That's so cute. I appreciate you. All right. So landlord says, I'll take care of everything. It says, however, the tenants point out that as their conversation progressed, the landlord's tone became colder. He even told them at one point they could just leave. Now, this just doesn't make sense. They just testified to the court that, yeah, we had a meeting with the landlord. He said he would fix everything. He restricted the hours of use for the laundry room. He assured us that he would be the only one using the elevator. He said he would fix everything, blah, blah, blah. But then in the same testimony, they say, as the conversation continued, the landlord's tone grew colder and he told us that we could just leave, which tells me what? It tells me they were not satisfied with what the landlord was telling them, which was, no problem. You've only lived here for 13 days. You come to me with this list of complaints. I will address them all. I'll take care of them all. Tells me they were not happy, and they were probably becoming argumentative and
Yeah, I agree with that.
So
then he probably did say, well, then you can leave.
Yeah, like, okay.
No, if you're not happy with what I'm telling you, then I'll let you out of your lease. You can go.
Exactly.
That makes sense.
Exactly. My remedy is not good enough. You guys are free to go. I'll let you out of the lease, right? Okay. So it says, but this is the way they frame it. The landlord's tone becomes colder. He even told them that they could leave, no longer remembering that he had just entered into a written lease with them. He also told them that one of his domestic employees had told him that they were stealing laundry soap from him. A completely false and intimidating statement, the tenants add. Those are the tenants' words. They said that the laundry soap. Laundry. Poor. And you're liars. So anyway, somehow this meeting they had with their landlord 13 days into their lease, where at first he said he would fix all of the complaints and remedy everything. Somehow it all went left. He told them you could just leave. He accused them of stealing laundry soap, and Frenchie and Murad said that was a completely false and intimidating statement. I find that very interesting. An intimidating state. Why is it an intimidating statement for the landlord to say, well, my housekeeper says you're using my laundry soap without my permission? I could totally see them 13 days into the lease, the landlord saying, well, you're coming to me with all these complaints. My housekeeper says you're using my laundry soap. This is real life, bro. Okay, so wait, this was 2014. How old was Dirt Neck in 2014? What was her age then? I don't know.
Well, she's a lot younger than me. I think she's 41.
Oh, she's a lot.
She likes to claim that she's the baby of Girl World. Yeah, why do I have to be the mature one? I'm the youngest out of the group. She's 41.
Wait,
yes.
Isn't Chantel also 41?
Yes.
Bitch, we've heard it wrong this whole time. We've been saying that she's Chantel's little sister. She's her twin. They're the same age and everything.
She's 41. Is she 40 or 41? I don't know. She's 40. Okay, she's 40.
Oh, she was born in 84. You were born in 83. She's a year younger.
Yeah, that would make her 41.
What's
I think
her actual birthday? Like what month is it?
Scorpio. She's Scorpio. It's her identity, don't you know?
Oh, so it's later in the year.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so she's okay. So she hasn't had her birthday yet.
People's super chats and stuff too, by the way.
Oh shit! Right. Hold on. Oh, you're right. I missed this one.
You didn't read Wicked Crafter.
Hold on, I'm coming back. Flu Shumu, thank you for being a member for 5 months. Landlord got fed up with them. I don't know any slumlords who just let you quit your lease that easily. Exactly. Thank you for that. And Wicked Crafter, thank you for the super chat. I guess y'all are sweating Frenchie and she gnawed off those stubby middle fingers because now her thing is simply choke. No intelligent debate to be had. Me disappointed.
I've seen that. I've seen that, Wicked Crafter. She said that to Wicked Crafter on Twitter.
You know what? I would be real careful, Dirt Neck, using the word, the word choke, because we've now deduced you are Chantel's twin sister. And what does Chantel do? What's my favorite thing Chantel does? Chokes. You might want to watch your ass, Frenchie. You might manifest that for yourself, bitch.
With your hashtag no small portions.
That's right. Hashtag no small portions. You're going to choke on your big portions, bitch. Keep it up.
Octopus.
Keep it up. What?
Of octopus. You were born in 83 too, Mrs. Sin? That's awesome. That's Sinatra Says wife.
Oh, really? Hey, girl.
Mm-hmm.
Goofy dumb goofy hoe bitch didn't get notification. Oh, November 1st? Ugh, that's disappointing.
Okay, finish. Come on. I'm ready. I'm ready to hear this. I am.
Okay, yeah. Let's go back to it. Okay, so the landlord says, my housekeeper says you're stealing my laundry soap. They said that's a completely false and intimidating statement. Okay, you guys ready for this? The next thing says, the landlord's attitude became even more harsh when he learned, following a question to this effect, that the tenant was of Muslim faith. The tenants claim.
Sounds a little.
This is not even Chantel. This is Frenchie's pattern of behavior. What does she accuse everybody of? What's her go-to? Anti-Semite. Oh, you're an anti-Semite. She was doing this shit back in 2014, telling the court, yeah, everything was great until the landlord inquired as to his faith, which happens to be Muslim. And then the landlord's attitude became even more harsh when they found out that Murad was a Muslim. That's a fucking pattern of behavior. How long have you been pulling this shit?
And you know what? Stuff like that does happen. We're not trying to act like it doesn't, but the obvious is that Frenchie has been grifting and scamming and lease hopping all of this shit for years at this point. And they're asking for $11,000. So you kind of, again, put the pieces together.
This landlord has already met them. All right. Already had them, the apartment showed by one of his employees, signed a lease with them. Murad is on the lease. Murad's name is Murad El Fazazi. And you're going to tell me that it wasn't until 13 days into the lease when Frenchie and Murad went to the landlord with all their complaints that he said, hey, wait a minute, Murad El Fazazi, you wouldn't happen to be Muslim by any chance, would you? Bullshit! You're full of shit, Frenchie! Goofy dumb, goofy hoe bitch. Thank you so much for the super chat. Choke makes sense, like she choked on lol. That was banger. Oh, baby, I need to get that clip that you be playing when Keem asked her if she was gonna turn her camera on. I need to load that into mine too.
Yeah, that was good. I got it. I'll send it to you.
Thank you. Okay, so it says the landlord's attitude became even more harsh when he learned, following a question to this effect, that the tenant was of Muslim faith. The tenant claims. Subsequently, no repairs were made and no commitments were respected. So now they're claiming the landlord never did anything he said he was going to do because he found out that Murad El Fazazi was Muslim and he had no clue prior to that moment that the man was Muslim. Give me a fucking break. Anyway, going on. There's more. There's so much more. Okay. It says, after sending their formal notice on the 3rd September 2014, the tenants therefore took it upon themselves to make the necessary repairs, particularly those relating to the stove, considering the situation urgent. Indeed, they were frequently forced to eat ready prepared meals or to eat in restaurants, being unable to cook very little at home. Still following their formal notice, the situation worsened every day, they insist. A situation which is still untenable to this day. This is their testimony in court. They're asking for $11,000 plus dollars. It says the landlord has now cut off all contact with them and no longer answers their phone calls, also since sending this formal notice. Although an inspector from the city of Montreal came to inspect this dwelling on September 16th, and the windows, which are completely sealed, were to be made functional, and a new door was to be installed, the landlord has taken no action in this regard. At this point, I think the landlord's hoping they just move out. But also the landlord does not know that they have sued him. All of even up to and after the hearing, the landlord did not know that they were suing him. We'll talk more about that in a minute. So it says, furthermore, the landlord's employees became increasingly aggressive with them, with one of them recently hired repeatedly threatening the tenant with death. As for the landlord's nurse, her words and tones towards them were very rude. So now they're telling the court that the landlord's employees are threatening Murad with death, and that the nurse, the landlord's nurse, is very rude. Okay. Then it's
milestone. Sorry.
What, baby?
You had a milestone.
Oh shit! Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, King Thorgrim Grudenbearer. Thank you for being a member for 24 months. Landlord's tones cold because they called him a racist. Exactly. Yes. Thank you. Thank you for pointing that out. And thank you for being a member for 24 months. You silent member, you. All right. Okay. So it says, as for the landlord's nurse, her words and tones towards them were very rude. The landlord's employees became increasingly aggressive with them, with one of them recently hired repeatedly threatening the tenant with death. However, they called the police on numerous occasions. I thought calling the police was something only the bitches did. Frenchie, isn't that what she said? Isn't that what she said when she beat Murad's ass, that she got arrested because he called the police on her like a bitch? But in this court paperwork, they told the judge in this court that they called the police on the wheelchair-bound landlord numerous times. Cat's Rule, thank you so much for being a member for 43 months. My conspiracy is Foodie and FFG are cousins. Hey, you know what? That is, at this point, definitely worth exploring. I was formerly Kin Didi, but changed my name. LOL. Thank you so much for the super chat. Oh, Kind Didi. Kind Didi. I can't say that as a tongue twister. Thank you so much for the super chat, and thank you for supporting my channel all of these months. Tally 420 says, who's the bitch now? Okay, so it says, however, they called the police on numerous occasions. Despite this, the landlord's employees continue to be intimidating and to make more and more and more noise with the washing machine and the elevator at inappropriate times. Things continue to go from bad to worse with these employees, as physical violence has now mixed with verbal violence, the tenants continue. Okay, babe. Is he related to dishwasher? That's a really good question. Chuck and his ducks, thank you so much for being a member for 2 months. I just caught up with 3 times speed. I just impressed myself for understanding everything. That was wild as fuck. Chuck and his ducks, I bet it was, because I talk really fast. And with my braces, my speech is kind of fucked up a little. So yeah, I'm impressed for you. I don't think I could have done that. And I'm pretty much an expert 2-time listener. Goofy dumb, goofy old bitch. Thank you so much for the super chat, honey. If they are cousins, then they are sisters, because hashtag Funkle Baby. Thank you for pointing that out, and thank you for the super chat. All right. Yaba had to step away. She's got to go pick one of the kiddos up. So it shows she's on panel, but she's not. She was helping me keep an eye on the super chats and milestones. So forgive me if I fall behind. I'll try my best, but there's so much here, you guys. We want to finish. Okay. So yeah, it says the things continue to go from bad to worse with these employees as physical violence has now mixed with verbal violence. The tenants. Uh-oh. Oh, am I back? Holy shit. Is that you, Dirt Neck? Hey, Hippie Peace. Good to see you. Okay. I'm going to go back and repeat this. It says, their dog is sometimes mistreated. Now, remember when I told you guys when they first filed this, a month after they started the lease, that they were asking initially to be let out of the lease. They wanted out. That was one of their demands. But they didn't leave. But they claimed they claimed here in the lawsuit that their dog was being mistreated. So if your dog is being mistreated and the landlord's employees are threatening to kill you and there's verbal violence and physical violence and your dog's being mistreated, why didn't you leave? They never left. They had to be evicted from this unit. And it not once but twice. They had to be evicted. Like he had to go to court 2 times, 3 times after this to get them out. But your dog was being mistreated, Frenchie? That's weird. All right. It says their dog is sometimes mistreated. While one of the landlord's employees tried to force the tenant into the elevator to lock him in while reiterating his desire to kill him. And you still didn't leave. You didn't leave. You never left. He had to force you out. Isn't that weird? Crazy. I would have left. You guys obviously have no problem finding new apartments to sign leases. Why didn't you leave? Crazy. All right. Then it goes on to say, at that moment, the tenant explains he was so afraid that he took refuge in a wardrobe, a closet, for those of you who don't know, in the rented accommodation. The tenant added that she found him there prostrate. I don't know what that means. Prostrate? And in such a state of panic that he had to be taken to the hospital by ambulance. So that's Frenchie piping in. That's right, Your Honor. I found him in the closet and he was in such a state of panic, I had to call an ambulance to take him to hospital. What's that word? Oh, laying down. Thank you. Oh, in the fetal position? Thank you. So Frenchie says, I found him in the closet in a fetal position and I had to call the ambulance. Yes, Mango Kush, her man, the one who beat her ass for 7 years and hit her in the head with a hammer. That one. Sorry, I have to drink the water that's making me burp. I don't know what to tell you. What was he going to do? Run him over in his wheelchair? Well, I think it might have been an employee. I don't know. Anyway. So FFG adds that she found him in there in the fetal position in such a state of panic that he had to be taken to the hospital by ambulance. Far from having ceased, the intimidation and harassment continue. While on September 30th, following the incident which led the tenant to the hospital, the landlord sent a letter from his attorney to the tenants. Ooh, all right. So now the landlord's getting his attorney involved. The landlord ordered the tenants to leave the premises, accusing them of a series of lies, including the theft of clothing, the tenants state. He ordered them to stop behaving abusively towards his employees in particular, even though it is they and not the tenants who are the major victims of their excessive behavior. The tenants add that currently, listen to this part. The tenants add that currently a motor vehicle is placed directly in front of their door and is blocking it so that they have difficulty entering their home. and even more so when they are carrying bags of groceries. We can't get in our house because there's a car parked by the door and we can't fit through the door with our groceries. Wicked Crafter, thank you so much for the super chat. I just tell her happy Halloween. Oof. Thank you so much for the super chat. Faced with this situation, which continues to worsen and which has no solution, the tenants affirm that it has become urgent that they leave the premises. Once again, they're saying it's urgent that they leave the premises. This was in September. They never fucking left. They didn't leave until April of the following year after the landlord finally got a court order to get them out. Spoiler, they never fucking paid rent. They never paid rent. All right. Furthermore, since moving into the premises, they've been experiencing significant stress and disruption as their calls to police have been very frequent, feeling consistently threatened and abused, not to mention the physical and verbal violence they have to endure daily from the landlord's employees. They also claim to have suffered significant harm from not being able to enjoy the internet service included in the price of their rent. Oh, thank you, Elaine. Thank you for the super chat. She says you talk just fine, sweetie. Thank you. The tenant states in this regard that he constantly has to go to cafes to study and cannot do so from home as he would like. He also has great difficulty staying in regular contact with his educational institution, and information intended for him is lost. What's more, since their research shows that the address of their accommodation is not listed with Canada Post, they have not been able to receive any mail there since October 1st, including the tenant's scholarship. That is very important, and we're going to come back to that. So they are saying that according to their research, the reason why they do not get mail at that address is because the address is not listed with the Canada Post. I think specifically they mean because they're renting the basement apartment, right? So they claim they're not getting their mail, but the court mailed them their summons to appear at this hearing, and they got that. They got their summons to appear that was mailed to the address that they share with the wheelchair-bound landlord. There's only one mailbox. It does not lock, according to the landlord. Now, FFG and Murad filed this lawsuit against the landlord, and the landlord issues a court date, and then the landlord mails both of them the notice and the summons to appear at the court date. The court would have mailed those summons out at the same time, right? To the same address. And presumably the Canada Post then would have delivered them at the same time to the same address. And Frenchie and Murad got theirs out of the mailbox at the same time that the landlord's notice was in the same mailbox. Now, the landlord did not come to the hearing because the landlord, he ends up filing an appeal to the court saying, I wasn't there because I didn't know because I never got the letter. My mailbox doesn't lock. Now, it sucks though, because another spoiler, the landlord ends up losing that appeal. And the court basically says, look, pal, we sent the notice to the right address. It's your fault that your mailbox doesn't lock. It's your fault that that letter got looted out of your mailbox. Tough shit. Tough shit. Yeah. So if Frenchie and Murad got the letter at the same address in the same mailbox that would have been mailed at the same time as the landlord's, but the landlord never got his, who the fuck do you think took the landlord's notice to ensure that they would have a court date with no landlord there? Exactly. Exactly. All right. So then it says, for their expenses related to the landlord's breaches, as well as because of their intense stress and the problems experienced, they believe they are entitled to monetary compensation which should be partially granted, the court judges. Hold on. I need to pull up the original because when I print it out for some reason, this part is like wonky and I can't read it. It's number 48. Oh, wait, hold on. Let me go back. Okay. So it says, for their expenses related to the landlord's breaches, as well as because of their intense stress and the problems experienced, they believe they are entitled to monetary compensation which should be partially granted. Thus, in terms of material damages, the court first considers it fair and reasonable to award the tenants the sum of $200 for the repairs to the stove and the kitchen sink pipe, given the landlord's inaction and the urgent nature of such repairs for the use of the dwelling and its preservation. So they got $200 for the stove. Oh, excuse me. Furthermore, the court may believe that the tenants, not having had the use of their stove for a long period, took meals at the restaurant or consumed prepared meals, expenses totaling, according to the invoices retained, the sum of $182. So they came to court with $182 in receipts for takeout, and they were awarded that. Do you guys hear an echo? I feel like I'm hearing an echo, but I could be wrong. Let me know. Okay. The court also considers that the tenants are entitled to the sum of $160 for the purchase of bus passes for the tenant, even though it says the latter. So even though Murad had to go outside of the home daily to do his schoolwork in cafes in order to have the internet connection necessary for the operation of this service, a service that the landlord has always refused them despite the mention in the lease. So they got $160 reimbursed for bus passes from Murad to go to a cafe to use their internet. Then it says the court considers that the tenants are also entitled to the sum of $200 paid in such cafes to obtain the internet service. So they got the bus pass reimbursed for him to get to the internet cafe, and they got $200 reimbursed for the use of the internet at the internet cafes. Suing for bus passes is humiliating. Cautious Observer says this is some bottom of the barrel shit. Yeah, it is. Okay. As for the ambulance cost incurred following the violence of an employee of the landlord towards the tenant, the court will limit them to $50, not having been able to see the invoice relating to them, the tenants not having received it yet, they admit. So mind you, the court has no choice but to accept the tenant, Frenchie and Murad's version of events, because the landlord is not there to dispute them or to give his own version or to argue. So this isn't the court like agreeing that there was violence of an employee of the landlord's towards the tenant. It's just that there's no other argument to it. So the court has to take it on face value. All right. So it says, however, the amount of material damage to which the court will award ends. That's what it says. So they're saying that's it. That's all they're getting. So they got $200 for the stove and the kitchen sink pipe, $182 for reimbursement for meals, $160 for reimbursement of bus passes, $200 for reimbursement of internet fees, and $50 in reimbursement for the ambulance. And that's it. It says, indeed, it cannot allocate any amount for the cleaning and painting that the tenants agreed to do, nor for the purchase of a lock that they also chose to replace, rather than bringing proceedings against the landlord or his employees if they entered their home illegally. Okay, anyway. It says the tribunal is also not sufficiently convinced that the $80 bus pass used by the tenant was primarily related to a breach by the landlord, nor were the laundry fees of about $100, even though they still had use of the building's laundry room, it appears, even though this use was highly conflictual. So they tried to get reimbursed $100 for their laundromat, and the court said no, because you still could have used the building's laundry room, even if there was conflict. That's so funny. Take your $100 laundromat bill and shove it up your ass, Frenchie. Tally 420, thank you for being a member for 30 months. Ambulance is paid for in Canada. Just a small fee is charged to a patient and nobody ever pays it. Scammers. That's right. Thank you, Tally 420. Hi, King Thorgrim Grudge Bearer says Quebec courts are famous for being extremely hard on landlords. The system is very pro-tenant. This verdict is not surprising nor rare. I'm not surprised either. Thank you for the super chat and the insight. See, in the United States, it's the opposite. The courts take the landlord side. Tenants are just fucked. No matter what, you're just fucked. Okay. Let's see. Where was I? Where'd it go? Oh, here it is. Okay. It says... Okay, so, oh, wait. Yeah, no, I got that. Okay, so they said take your $100 laundromat bill and shove it up your ass. It says, nor can he consider the, this is where, hold on. You guys want to see it? Like, I'm reading from the website now, not my printout. Hold on, let me show you. I want to show you this. It literally says, where is it? Right here. Nor can he consider the amount of $2 paid for the purchase of a lease to be damage suffered. They literally wanted their fucking $2 back for the lease that they bought, like the paper. This says, furthermore, the tribunal has no difficulty believing that the tenants has suffered significant stress since moving into this accommodation, as well as notable and significant disturbances, finding it unacceptable that they did not promptly obtain the necessary repairs to which they were entitled, and that they were frequently ostracized and threatened verbally and physically by the landlord's employees. So they took them at their word for that. Goofy Dumb Goofy Hope Bitch says no police report, even though an ambulance was called. Bullshit. Yeah, really. Where's all the police reports, Frenchie? In addition, they suffered from excessive noise from the landlord's elevator due to its excessive use at all hours of the day and night, as well as from the washing machines, also at odd hours. Not to mention all the disturbances related to their difficulty in using these washing machines and the disturbances inherent in the absence of internet service, which was included in the lease. It is equally unacceptable that they were able to receive mail at their unable to receive mail at their homes because their accommodation does not have a valid postal address. But they did get the notification. The court mailed to them. They got their notification. The landlord didn't get his. Highly suspect. For all of these problems experienced by the tenants, the court considers it fair and reasonable to award them the sum of $1,000 as moral damages. It says the court also finds that since last August, the tenants have been victims of harassment by the landlord's employees, harassment which prevents them from fully enjoying this accommodation, even though they currently have difficulty entering it. It also appears that the landlord avoided all contact with them and made no attempt to resolve the situation, instead ordering them to leave the premises through a letter from his attorney, accusing them of acts they did not commit, according to their sincere and credible testimony. Wow. sincere, incredible testimony. I'm sure it is sincere, incredible. What's crazy though is I wonder how sincere, incredible the court would have found their testimony. Let's say, oh, I don't know, 6 to 8 months from then when the court found out that they never left. They never moved out of the apartment and they never paid rent. So sincere and so credible so credible their testimony was that they were being harassed and abused and bullied by this landlord and his staff, but they never fucking moved. They just stayed. Why? And then they get another $1,000. Says, given the situation of harassment, which appears obvious to the court, it is appropriate to award the tenants an additional sum of $1,000 as punitive damages in order to dissuade the landlord from adopting such conduct again with the tenant or from remaining inactive when his employees behave this way. Furthermore, the court considers that the harm caused to the tenants is sufficiently serious to terminate the lease in their favor. Is that me ringing? I don't think my wife muted her mic. I think that's what I'm hearing. Okay, I'm going to remove her because I don't think she's muted. She can come back later. That's so funny. That's what I've been hearing. Okay. Anyway, hold on. Where was I? So it says, for these reasons, the court terminates the lease entered into with the tenants in favor of the latter, which is the tenants. It says it condemns the landlord to pay the tenants the sum of $2,792 with interest at the legal rate, in addition to compensation provided for in article blah, blah, blah. As of September 3rd, 2014, the sum of $1,742. As of October 1, the sum of $50. And as of October 29, the sum of $1,000 plus legal cost. So if the lease was terminated, then the landlord should have had no problem getting them out. But they didn't leave. Exactly, Tally, a disabled person at that. Tally says they're supposed to show proof that they banked the rent money. Did that get mentioned? No, it didn't, because the landlord was not there to raise it. That's how it is in the United States as well. If you're going to withhold rent because repairs aren't being made or the house isn't up to code, which, by the way, Frenchie, if you get saucy enough to go on the mycase.in.gov and start looking into my evictions, make sure you know what the fuck you're looking at and what the fuck you're reading. Because yes, one of my evictions I had filed on me, it was because the house I was renting was not up to code. There was an electrical issue in the basement. The landlord sent some jackwad out there, and when they fixed the electrical, we go down there and I'm like, I still don't think that's up to code. That's not right. So I called code enforcement out, and sure enough, code enforcement said, this isn't up to code. They red tagged our fucking meter. I did not pay the rent. The landlord filed eviction. I countersued the landlord, was able to show the court that I had my rent money in escrow. That's what it's called. Proved to the court that my rent money was in escrow. Proved to the court that code enforcement found the house to be out of code, the electrical namely, and I won. I won that fucking case. I was not evicted. Fuck you. Just because you have an eviction filed on you doesn't mean you're evicted. There's another eviction that was filed on me that I ended up getting completely thrown out. I went toe-to-toe with the landlord's attorney because I never should have been a party to that eviction, and I fucking won. When that was all said and done, the whole fucking eviction was thrown out, and the landlord dropped the whole thing because they didn't want me coming after his ass for a wrongful eviction. Go ahead, mycase.in.gov. Just make sure you fucking know what the fuck you're reading first, bitch. And if you come on here with some whack shit on me and you ain't telling the truth on my shit, we'll do another 3-hour live stream and I'll go over my own fucking my case records and I'll lay it out for you and I'll read it real slow in a way you can fucking understand. All right. Anyway, Rojo, thank you so much for the super chat. Crackhead Olympics. Who? French Fried Fraud 2025. Sam, you say dumb bitch the best. I know I do. Thank you, Rojo, and thank you for supporting my channel. Okay, let's finish up here. So yeah, so they won. What is this? $2,792. Let me get my handy dandy calculator out. $2,792. Oops, already fucked it up. $2,792 plus 1,742 plus 1,000 plus 87 in legal costs. They won $5,621 from this landlord. And spoiler, they did not leave, even though they won. They were granted what they asked for the court, which is terminating the lease in their favor. So they got out of the lease legally. They got awarded, what did I say it was? $5,621 from that disabled landlord. Oh, wait, you think, oh, okay, wait, was it that total? It says, and the additional compensation. No, it says they're to pay them the sum of $2,792 with interest and the additional compensation. No, I think that's additional. I mean, that does add up to exactly that. But no, it says back here. It says 1,000 here. Additional sum of 1,000. No, that's not the total. Oh, maybe. I don't know. Whatever. It does add up to $2,792. Oh, the additional is the legal fee. Okay, fine. So they got $2,792. Anyway, about it. Minimum, they got $2,792. And they got the lease terminated in their favor. So why didn't they fucking leave? I'm going to stop sharing that. That's the end of that. Okay. They got what they wanted. Well, that hearing took place on October 21st. The additional is the legal fee. Okay, thank you. Either way about it, $3,000. And they got out of the lease. So that hearing was October 21st. The judgment came out November 5th. Okay, so November 5th is when they got the ruling in their favor to terminate the lease, and they got the monetary award. She got no issues blatantly lying about anything if it'll bring someone else down. Exactly, Kai Bella. Okay. So that was, I'm sorry, that was the November 5th. November 5th, 2015. On January 7th, oh, you're right. Okay, so this next one says the total award was $2,792. Okay, thank you. So $2,792. So that was November 5th. 2 months later, on January 7th, actually, no, it wasn't January 7th. Hold on. December 22nd. So just under 2 months later, December 22nd, the landlord files an appeal. So he must have found out by now that there was a court hearing that he was not aware of, that he wasn't there, and that this judgment came, because now he's filing an appeal. Thank you, Sleepy Jean. So he files on December 22nd, 2014. That's the hearing. So he must have filed it a little before then. Frenchie and Murad come to this hearing. It says this is an application for retraction of a decision made by the court on November 5th, 2014. This decision, rendered by Administrative Judge Luce de Palma, among others, terminates the lease entered into between the parties and orders the landlord to pay the tenants the sum of $2,792. The landlord bases his request on Article 89 of the Housing Board Act, which stipulates If a decision has been rendered against a party who has been prevented from appearing or providing evidence by surprise, fraud, or other cause deemed sufficient, the party may request its revocation. The landlord explains that he was not present at the hearing of the tenant's application, which took place on October 21st, 2014. He states that he did not receive the notice of hearing that the tribunal sent him on September 23rd, 2014, inviting him to attend. He provides no explanation for not receiving this mail other than that his mailbox does not lock, meaning that it may have been looted. And this is where I feel like the landlord should have argued to the court that these people live at the same address that I do. There's only one mailbox. You, the court, mailed our invitations to attend on the same day to the same address. They were delivered presumably by the Canada Post on the same day into the same mailbox. They got theirs. I didn't get mine. They fucking looted it. They took it out of the mailbox to ensure that I didn't get it, to ensure that I didn't know about the hearing, and to ensure I wouldn't be there, and that they would be able to just say whatever they wanted and get their judgment. And that is what they did. And then it says, then he they're talking about the landlord. Then he reports his own complaints against the tenant. They didn't list in the record the complaints. Hold on, because some of these they printed half in English and half in French, and I gotta pull up the original January 15th. Hold on. January. Oh, that's not what I want. Where is that? January 7th, 2015. Is that it? Hold on. Yes, January 7th in English. Thank you. It starts number 9 is where it went to French. There we go. It says, then the landlord reports his own complaints against the tenants. After verification, it appears that the notice of hearing question was indeed sent and that it was not returned to sender. So the Canada Post didn't lose it. The Canada Post didn't send it back to sender. The Canada Post delivered it. Oh, there she is. She's home. Hold on. Hey, babe, is that you? Hold on.
Hey, babe.
Oh, you're there. You didn't mute, so I was hearing.
I'm muted.
No, because I was hearing.
Muted. I'm muted.
Well, I heard something, and I heard your phone start to ring.
I think you're tripping.
Like one of your devices was ringing. I am not. Did y'all hear it? Didn't y'all hear it? Anyway, whatever. You're back. Thank you so much.
Tripping. It's great. I've enjoyed it. I've been listening to all of it. Oh, great.
Oh, what are you eating?
Huh?
What are you eating?
One of the only things I can eat. Those freaking.
I know what you're eating. I know what you're eating. Don't say it. Listen, have you been loving every minute of it?
Oh yeah.
Is it getting better and better?
Oh yeah.
You're gonna give it to me real good.
Just read the fucking shit, would you?
Don't worry. You're gonna give it to me real good. All right. Let's see.
You're funny. Stop it.
Okay, let me finish. It says, after verification, it appears that the notice of hearing in question was indeed sent and it was not returned to the sender. The tenants dispute the retraction. So Frenchie and Murad, they're disputing his appeal and state that they sometimes do not receive mail, but because their address is not listed. So they're like, oh, Your Honor, sometimes we don't get our mail.
Oh my God.
Uh-huh. And then it just goes on to it just gives the court's reasoning for basically not giving him the appeal. And it says, hold on. I just want to get to the
Arby's.
so it doesn't matter. Okay, so long story short, that the landlord dismisses his application without cost. So he didn't win. He did not win the appeal. Because it said that the landlord it says the landlord should have known he will have shown negligence and carelessness and not taking the necessary steps to ensure receipt of his mail when he knew that his mailbox didn't lock. So they blamed the landlord for not getting his
so
mail.
all that happened. They went to court. They were awarded. Obviously, we know why. When did they get evicted?
Okay, so that was hold on. He tried to get it reversed, appeal December. It was denied. The first time he files for eviction on them is February. February.
Okay, they never paid rent after that either, did they?
They never paid rent at all.
So they were awarded all that money that he had to pay them?
Yes.
And they never paid rent. They never paid to live there. And how long total were they there?
Hold on. Not only did they not pay to live there, not only were they awarded that money, but they also were awarded the termination of the lease in their favor. So they were supposed to leave because they kept telling the court, we can't stay here. We can't stay here. We can leave.
Yeah, they squatted.
They squatted. So the lease started the lease started August 1st of 2014. They sued the landlord September of 2014. They amended the complaint in October. The hearing happened in October. They won their money and getting out of the lease November.
Uh-huh.
And then the landlord filed eviction in February. And in the February, but this is crazy because the February eviction, there was actually 2 hearings about it.
Mm-hmm.
And ultimately, the first hearing was February 6th. The second was February 13th. And when they came back to court on February 13th, they had come to an agreement. And the agreement was that Frenchie and Murad owed the landlord $3,850, which is the rent due from August 2014 through February of 2015. And that was the month of the eviction. So the lease started in August. And when he finally filed eviction in February, they owed August through February. And hold on one second.
When did they actually leave?
Hold on. Let me get to that. Give me 1 second. February 19th, 2015. I just want to bring it up and put it on screen so you guys can see this shit with your own eyes. It's fucking amazing. Share screen. This one, 2015, share. It's this one. So it says right here, the amount of $3,850 due for rent from August 2014 to February 2015. And right here is the day. This is then when they were evicted. This is the eviction hearing. So February. And it says, I forget where it says, but anyway, just take my word for it that the lease started August 2014. So they paid nothing. So when they came back to court, it says that basically, it says the defendant acknowledges having read the document entitled Total Withdrawal of a Decision concerning file 1726083124. Okay, so this right here, this is the date. So this is the September 9th, 2014 filing. That was when they sued the landlord. Okay. And then this is also when they sued the landlord. So basically, they agreed to vacate the property and also withdraw that original.
Okay.
Now, this is what I find interesting. So this is the court case we know about that they filed on the landlord a month after they moved in. That's what both of these are. But see this one?
Yeah.
This is Court of Quebec. This is the Court of Montreal. See, Montreal office. This case was filed in Montreal. This case was filed in Montreal. But this is a totally different filing that took place in Quebec. And for some reason, it's included in this. And I don't know what that is. I haven't found it only because I haven't had time to look. Anyway.
Okay, but again, I ask you, when did they leave?
April.
April.
So their agreement in February was that they would leave by April 1.
April. That is crazy.
April.
Okay, so did you already put this total onto the rest of it?
No, I haven't. So
You need
what was that? Hold on. $3,850. $3,850 plus interest, bitch. Hold on.
How many more do they have after this? This was like the big one, right? Where they had a lot of information because they sued them and all that shit.
Yeah, that one was a big one. Okay, so, but yeah, so they agreed. It says it right here. It says the defendant party will bear the moving costs alone and undertakes to change the address within 10 days of April 1. It says the defendant agrees to permanently vacate the accommodation. See where it says located at ... They took it out, the address out. Oh, it says Draper. What is that? Is that a city? Is that a street? They failed to redact Draper from the address. This is in Montreal. Come on, Canadians. Is Draper like a province or it's a street? Joanna says it's a street.
It really is, Tone. This is fucking wild. Okay.
So okay. So they lived on, we don't have the street number, but we now know they lived on Draper Street in Montreal. You were asking before if the address was there. Yeah. I didn't see this until now, but yeah, they took the word Draper still on there. So they lived on Draper. If anybody wants to.
Okay. Can we go into the next one though?
Hold on. But again, remember they wanted to leave. Did you hear the part where they put in there that their dog was also being mistreated? Yeah. But they stayed. They stayed from September.
All these things were bad. There was no window. The dog was being mistreated. The elevator going up and down. The washer and dryer. But
they paid. These never paid any rent. Yeah. So they stayed there from August until April and never paid a dime in rent. And they sued the wheelchair bound landlord. They sued him for all that bullshit and then also stayed and then never paid rent. Tone the Pilot, thank you for being a member for 5 months. FFG, that's some real hobo energy. Sure is. Dumb says Yaba wants to bees and Sam. Naughty bitches.
But please tell us how bad everybody else is, Frenchie. Please. How many more do you have?
Okay, so that one, they had to be out April 1st. So here's a question. They had to be out April 1st of 2015. They next show up in eviction court in December. So they had to move out of the basement in April 1st. By December, they're being evicted again. Oh, I say
God.
But it's only Frenchie on this lease is only Frenchie. So is Miranda gone? Are they no longer together? Or was she renting places in only her name? So there's this one. There's December 2015 and only her name. Then there's May of 2016 and only her name. Then there is November of 2016, only in her name.
Oh my God. How far do these go?
Well, so like I said, the last time we see an eviction on Frenchie is December of 2016. December 2016. But Murad gets evicted one more time in 2021. Somebody
in chat says that Draper Street is by her P.O. box.
I see that. Rachel Hay says her P.O. box is Monkland, which is located by Draper Street. Hold on just a second, because that's just something I want to come back to and I don't want to forget about it. So hold on. Where is it? There it is. Oh, Rachel Hay. Thank you. Boom, boom. There we go. Thank you for that. All right.
Over at that point, Cancer Warrior, like you get 1-2 evictions, it's gonna be really hard to find a place to live.
Yeah. It's
They
safe to say that the stranger's finances is an abusive, crazy person. Yeah. Hold on. Joanna says Notre Dame de Grace, an area of Montreal. NDG is where she currently lives. Okay, so how close is NDG to Draper? I guess.
She should replace Foodie if she ends up in a slammer. We wish. Because obviously she has what it takes. The only thing that's missing is her willingness to come up and do what Foodie does.
Oh, that was Tragic that said that. Hey, Tragic.
Yeah. She wants to be on the other side of that where she can call out the same behavior that she does, which is wild.
Draper is an NDG. Oh, okay.
What does NDG mean?
Notre Dame. What is it called? Notre Dame de Grace or something? I guess.
It's an area.
Yeah, it's like an area.
Okay.
What do you call it? Is it a city? Is it a province? What is it? I don't know what you guys call it. Yeah, FW11 says with every eviction, she learned how to skirt the tenant landlord laws.
She should be a lawyer for real. The gunt.
Dude, this right here is what I grew up doing at the dinner table with my dad. He would literally bring home case files. He would tell me what to look for, and then I would go through and find what he wanted me to find. And then I would also be like, I also noticed this. I also noticed this. And I would write my little notes. I'm talking 11, 12, 13 years old. This is what I was doing. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. Hold on. Elaine says that is just a random address. Okay, wait. It's a borough of Montreal. Okay. I guess that makes sense. A borough. So like Queens is a borough of New York. Okay.
So is it a dump of a borough?
Oh yeah. Is it a dump of a borough? Give us more information. Anyway. Elaine called out FFG for being obsessed with money, and FFG replied that Elaine was saying that because she's Jewish.
Yeah, I seen that. She sure did. And you know what's crazy? And I don't know if this is true or not, but I've heard a lot of people say that possibly she's very well may not even be Jewish. I'm not saying that that's true. I'm just saying that I've seen it.
No, I've heard that too.
And after everything that I've seen today, I would totally believe something like that.
Freya, thank you for the super chat, hon. Wicked Crafter, thank you for the super chat. Does that make Cutie right? Does Frenchie live in a Motel 6 house after all?
She obviously knew what she was talking about. How she got the information, who knows? Maybe she was just looking at her background and assumed it. But yeah, the bitch was right.
No, she really does live in a. Has Frenchie ever like even posted a picture of anything? Like, you don't see a countertop. You don't see what the flooring looks like. Nothing.
Put it out there, babe. Finish the timeline.
Okay, so yeah, we'll go through this pretty quick. So the last eviction, they were ordered to be out by April 1st of 2015. But the next lease did not start until July of 2015. So April to May, May to June, June, July. Where were they for those 3 months? They had to be out of the last place.
Motels.
Or they didn't get out on April 1.
Yeah.
But there wasn't any more court action. So for that landlord, so I don't know.
These people are out of control.
Kimberlina says she would bees and you AK.
I know AK is appalled. I know she is.
Poor AK. Okay, let me screen share real quick. Thank you, Tally. Tally has posted a link in the chat, which is a Google Maps of Draper Street. Let's just get an idea for the neighborhood, shall we? You know, since Dirt Neck's best friends like to have a look at our neighborhood and where we're living. Oh my God, it's a dump. Oh, look at the shithole.
Hideous.
Look at that shit. Which one were you in, Franche? So I have a question. Do they, like in the United States, property tax records are public record and accessible online on the internet? So you can literally just punch in, I don't know, a homeowner's name or even an address. But if you punch in like an address, it'll tell you who owns it. If you punch in a homeowner's name, it'll tell you what they own. 4353 is blurred out.
AK, she doesn't know what that means.
AK says it's Canadian Section 8 housing. Does give projects like a fancy one. Okay, hold on. I think you can on real estate sites.
This doesn't look like a dump. I'm just joking. But here's the thing that I think about this place. I don't think it's going to be what you expect. I'm not looking for it to be a complete fucking dump. Like it sounds like this man had some kind of, like he wasn't just bum, just running out his fucking basement. He had an elevator for fuck's sakes. He had a medical team that was there. He had employees.
Well, okay, listen. So they said it was a duplex, right? So like this is a duplex. And as you can see, it's got a basement that, I wonder, oh my God, I wonder if that is him. Oh no, he's not in a wheelchair.
God saved him.
We're gonna go up and down the street. Look, you know what? I bet whichever one of these houses has a handicap accessible ramp. This image was captured in 2009. Let's see.
No way.
Oh, that one's 2020. Okay, see more dates. How far back does it go? It goes back to 2017.
For the love of God.
Okay, so this is what the street looked like in 2017. This is May of 2017. When were they ordered out? They had to get out April.
That's the moving truck they left in. Google Maps tells the fucking story. There's the old man. There's the moving truck.
Oh my God. There's an image from May of 2014, which is the year it was right before they moved in. This was right before they moved in. Look, there's a sign. Oh my God. This was May and they signed a lease in August. This fellow's on his feet. There's that school. But see, the thing is, as you progress, it changes the date. Now that's 2009. One of these houses is going to have a wheelchair accessible ramp, and that's going to be the house.
Do you think that's the only handicapped motherfucker in the fucking neighborhood?
I mean, okay, at least we can at least fucking narrow it down. Okay, so obviously it's not there because these are actual apartments. It's going to be, I mean, Draper's not that big of a street, is it, guys?
Why are you so worked up?
Okay, well, we're not going to do this now. Why? Trust me, I'm coming back to this screen.
She'll circle back around. Okay, can we just do that later?
I'll do it later.
What's the timeline?
Oh my God, it's 9:00. Okay,
I know, and I gotta take a shower.
They're missing for 3 months. Okay, so from April to July, they're missing. The next time they appear in eviction court, the hearing is in December. This lease started in July. So again, July, it's for $610 a month. And when they got evicted, they owed $1,320 for October, November, December. So they moved in July, August, September, presumably they paid. And then it's like there's this pattern where she'll pay for 3 months and then she doesn't pay for 3 months and gets evicted.
Put the amount on your list.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So they were ordered to pay $1,320.
Addicted to cold brew. Simmer down.
Plus $710 plus 81. That was that one. So that's that 1, 8, 9, 10, 11, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Can you do me a favor before you get done? Could you slap that screenshot back on the screen of her telling me to pay my bills and not buy Nintendos?
Oh, baby. Yes, I will.
Thank you so much. I do appreciate that.
Yeah, sure. No problem.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. Yeah, I just want to look at it just one more time. I just want to read it really slow.
She didn't delete it. Oh, here it is. I'm just going to leave it up there while we finish. Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Okay, can we all see it? Oh, it's just, why is it showing like that? I haven't.
Not that one. The one where she's, oh yeah, there it is. That is it. That is it.
Hold on, let me fix it. How's
You
that?
said this with your whole fucking chest. You said this with your whole chest, bro.
Yeah.
Tell
Okay,
him
so
to pay my bills.
that's another $2,111. Okay, so that was in December of 2015 was the hearing. Their next lease starts in April. So the eviction, they were actually evicted in January. So from January 2016 until April 1st of 2016, they're missing again. Where'd they go? Where were they? Because the next lease starts April 1st, 2016. Guess when the eviction was filed? The very next month in May of 2016.
Oh my God.
Chin's Wasta Crimes, thank you so much for the super chat. First and last month plus deposit would be 3 months.
Yep.
Oh. So every time they get evicted, they're scratching up enough for first, last, and deposit, and then riding that out for 3 months, and then riding out another 3 months because they know they can't get evicted until they're 3 months behind. That's wild. Okay, so this one, the rent was $600 a month. She moved in April 1st, and by May, she was being evicted.
Oh my God.
So this one, they were awarded $1,200 plus 600 plus 82. 1,200, 682. So that is 1,882.
That's wild.
And mind you, plus interest. All right. Where the fuck is Street Carp when you need her?
Did you make that?
What?
Talking to Chance.
Oh. Okay. So they were evicted May 2016. Oh, wait. Hold on.
Pat Ray says FFG says she's in good standing with Canada government because she worked for years to pay off her debt, but also says she paid off all her debt with her YouTube income. Did she work her ass off or get lucky?
Press X to doubt.
She exploited a cat, and who knows if she used that money to pay off anything other than to stuff her gullet.
Press X. We'll find out. It's still public record. We'll find out. Now you can go on mycase.in.gov, and every single one of those liens that I ever had was paid off in 2019. It's all listed. So make sure when you go through all my little judgments that you also go through where it shows every single one of them having been paid off. Okay, you do that. Don't you forget it neither. Wicked Crafter says, French fried girl, are you enjoying this trip down memory lane? Kissy face emoji. Wicked Crafter, thank you for the super chat.
Do you want to go ahead and explain to Tweet T why you don't use dark mode?
Oh, because well, when I need to, if I need to print something for my handy dandy binder, it uses a lot less black ink. I learned that in 2020.
She prints this shit. Tweety.
Sometimes I need to print things.
No, it's great. I love it. I think it's great. Anyways, go ahead. So how many did you finish them all?
So her last eviction, at this point, we are at December of 26. No. It was June. I'm wrong. 6th of, okay. So now we are to June of 2016 was the last eviction. All right. Well, I'm sorry, May, the end of May, whatever. The end of May 2016, she was evicted. The next lease that she gets evicted from started August of 2016. So once again, where was she? Where was she from May 25th, 2016 until she signed a new lease August 1st? At her mom's, at the motel, I don't know. But she pops up again 3 months later, August 1st. There's a new lease. This time, guess how much the rent is this time?
How much?
$470.
How much?
$470. It says it right here. It says this is a lease from August 1st, 2016 to June 30th, 2017 at a monthly rent of $470. The evidence shows that the tenant owes $1,410, the rent for the months of September, October, and November. So she started the lease August 1st, and she did not pay September, October, November.
So she never paid.
No, she just paid the first month. Again, she just paid the first month to get in and then never paid anything else.
That's fucking wild.
So on that judgment, she has to pay $1,410 plus another $470 for the month of the eviction. Plus this time the legal costs are $111. So that is 1,991 plus interest. Plus interest. Lady Spiteful Case says Sham is legit. Wife goals. Don't mess with hers. That's right, bitch. Leave my fucking woman alone. Keep her name out of your dirt neck potato headed motherfucking mouth, bitch.
Did you hear me?
No, what?
Street Carp's here.
Street Carp. Fuck yeah. Okay, Street Carp. I got some math for you. All right. Street Carp, I don't see you, but I'm gonna start calling out numbers. Are you ready? You got your pen?
Probably driving or something.
Shit. Street Carp, are you available? I mean, we can always come back to this. We could come back with the numbers another time. But if you're available, let me know if she answers in chat if she's available, and I'll start firing off the numbers for her.
Tweet T. That's a great question. And you know what? You know how that also reminds me of Chantel. Like we talked about this recently. She says she's ready, but hold on a second.
Okay.
How Chantel can just walk away because there's no way that you're gonna pack up that often. You just couldn't do it. Like, what are you putting in your suitcase to take with you to the next place, to the next place, to the next place? You know what I mean? You don't even feel like you're at home. Like you don't have anything. The only thing that she could have been taken along to all these different places is clothes. She has nothing, just like Chantel.
And apparently she's dragging at least one dog around with her through all this shit.
Yeah.
Okay, Street Carp says she's ready. Okay, so listen, the court paperwork does not say what the interest rate is. So is it...
Okay, somebody in chat said 470 Canadian is 373 US dollars. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
You couldn't scratch up $470. Okay, so it doesn't say what the interest rate is, what the legal interest rate is. I know in the US it's 8%. If anybody in chat, any Canadian in chat knows what interest, rate we should be calculating, please say so. Otherwise, can we just agree to go with the 8%? What do you guys think? I think we should go with Chatty Crafter said 13%. Oh, that's not good for you. Where'd you get that from, Chatty Crafter? Anyone else? Anyone? 13? Tally says I'm a financial idiot. We can go with 13. Likely high. Tally says likely high. 13. I mean, 8's bad. 13. That probably sounds about right. Okay, fine. So Street Cart. I don't have dates on all these, but we'll start first with the oldest, which is $1,801 at a 13% interest since May of 2012. Oh, Elaine Gray, thank you for the super chat. Elaine says, yeah, but I emailed you the Twitter from her. Okay, so May of 2012, how long ago was that? 2012 to 2022 is 10 years. So 13 years. 13 years interest at 13%. And the judgment was $1,801. Let me get a pen of a different color for her answers so I can keep it straight. Okay. Let me know when she answers. I'm going to continue because we're almost at the end. Okay, so let's see. December 2016 was the last eviction that had Frenchie's name on it. December 2016. Now, it's my understanding that Frenchie claims the relationship with Morad ended in June of 2019. So if that's the case, somehow miraculously, after literally, what is this? Actually 4 years, after 4 years of entering into leases, not paying the rent, getting evicted. Suddenly, come December 2016, the two of you get your shit together and start paying your rent. What's this?
From Elaine.
The Nazis of the community showed themselves, and some dumb bitches, you included, showed their asses. Get the fuck out of my face. Elaine says, yep, smartened up to your money grubbing ass, and you don't like it. Frenchie says, money grubbing because I'm Jewish. Just like how you told the court that the landlord suddenly had a problem with Murad when he asked if he was of the Muslim faith, despite having met him in person, despite having entered into a lease agreement with him, despite his name being Murad El-Fazazi. Give me a fucking break. And then who is that under there? It says them, halcyon ass days. Who said halcyon? You know, that's what they use as a sedative in the dental field, halcyon. Anyway, money grubbing because you, no, I think it says the R word, money grubbing because you're poor white trash. Thank you for that. I'm going to put this one back on the screen. Wait, remove there, add to stage. All right. Okay, so FFG says the relationship with Murad ended June of 2019. So the next time we see Murad's name in an eviction is so the last eviction with Frenchie was December of 2016. She claims they were together for another 2.5 years till June of 2019. But Murad gets evicted in September of 2021, and that lease went from July 1st of 2020. So that would have been a year after him and Frenchie allegedly broke up. He enters into a lease and once again gets evicted. And once again, he owed 3 months of rent when he got evicted. Now, this time though, guess how much? So we've heard these rent amounts, right? $650, $625, $575, $470, $610. All of a sudden in July of 2020, if Frenchie's to be believed on her timeline, a year after they broke up, Murad rents a unit out for $1,550 rent. Ain't that crazy? So if they're not together anymore, then all of a sudden he's renting a place for $1,550 a month. But don't worry, he didn't pay the rent. By the time he got evicted, he owed 3 months arrears rent, $4,650. Did Street Crop ever come back with the number for the interest on the $1,800?
Oh, hey, Prince Songs. Good to see you, hun.
There
Long
you
time no
are.
see. I see you in the comments all the time. We already know that.
Probably gonna blame all this on Murad being abusive and cry that y'all don't care about abuse victims. No bullshit. Tap back to the beginning. We've already talked about that. I don't believe for a second. I believe these two probably whooped on each other. That's the thing. From the way, and this is from the way she describes it. She herself said that she gave it as good as she got it.
She went to jail.
She's the only one that went to jail.
Mm-hmm. And that's telling, because normally, like on cops and stuff, when you see these people in these domestic violence relationships or whatever, and they're beating up on each other, they lock them both up.
Yeah, you're going to tell me that the Canadian police locked her up and not Murad El-Fazazi?
I'm definitely not believing anything that she says after seeing all this shit. I'm going to believe only receipts. Okay? That's it.
Mrs. ADHD, it's not over. We're still here live.
3 hours later.
Yeah, no shit. So, okay, so there's that. Murad. Oh, also, yeah. So the last time Murad was seen anywhere in Canada, he vacated in June of 2021, owing 3 months of back rent, and I'm pretty sure he went back to Morocco after that. Okay. Of note, also, Chris, her brother Chris, has 3 evictions on the books: August of 2020, May of 2021, and October of 2021. Chris was taken to eviction court. I'm not really interested in those.
Tell me you're going to cover her brother.
Yeah, but not today. I didn't have the time to really look into that.
Obviously not today, but eventually, yes.
Mm.
Somebody said 13% of the 1,800 is $239.
Only $239.
For how long?
Okay, wait, no, 13% of that amount is $239, but this is compound interest. It's accruing over time. Where the fuck did Street Carp go?
She's like, yeah, not today.
I need to give Street Carp a wrench next time she pops up in chat so I can keep a hold of her. No, she knew that I was hoping she'd make it to tonight's stream so she could do her math for us. She knew what she was getting into. She loves this shit. Oh, there she is. I had to see Canadian. She's been calculating, bitch. Okay, wait. I had to see Canadian difference. I'm getting, that's not 36,000. It can't be. Are you saying $36,524 is what she owes today on this $1,800 judgment at a 13% interest since 2012?
Holy shit, that is 13 years.
36,524. I'm using pink. $36,524 Street Carp. Okay, are you ready? I got more.
Can you answer how many evictions she had in total?
In total? Yeah, hold on. 1 second. I can't believe it's after 9 o'clock. I'm so fucking tired. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 if you include the one where she moved in with Murad halfway through his lease and then they scammed the landlord at 660 and got evicted anyway. So 9. 9 between June of 2012 and December of 2016. 9.
So let me ask the chat a question and serious answers. Like if you really feel like that she's an accountant and she has a degree, then that's fine. But do you all believe that at this point that she's an accountant? And do you believe that there was ever going to be a spite house with the BBJ money?
Joanna, 9 in 4 years. Sorry.
And does this make you feel like really nervous about the outcome of what happened with BBJ, knowing somebody so irresponsible who did this? And I understand it was a long time ago, but I don't think that person has changed very much. She got really lucky with reactions to Chantel. She got really lucky with how close she was and how she was able to basically become the biggest Chantel reactor because she was her willingness to go real life. Does that make you all kind of like nervous to know exactly what happened to BBJ? This doesn't seem like a good person.
Street Carp. The next one is 1,951. I'm going to put in the chat. 1,000. God damn it. $1,951 since November of 2012.
She talked about accounting school, but when people mention it, she gets so mad. Kind of like when people ask her where the cat is, she gets really mad.
That's crazy. Why do you get so angry, Frenchie? Okay, that's November of 20. That's that one.
No, BBJ didn't deserve that life. She didn't deserve the life of Chantel, and then she didn't deserve to get exploited and not cared about and just used for a fucking money grab. She absolutely did not deserve that. I had no idea that she was the type of person that doesn't even like cats.
No, and you know what? I have to go back and watch, or I'm gonna go back and review those streams she did. The one right after she got BBJ, and then she did one several months after that. Those 2 streams, we're gonna watch those together, and I'm telling you, it's very, very telling. Okay, hold on. This one
Because she lets her people say she's an accountant and she's been clever enough to dodge the fact that she never got close. All she did was take some classes. I think, you know what? You know how we say how Salah did not have a car until Chantel? And I know this could be far stretched, but I don't think that Frenchie had a car until she started getting pretty successful with her reactions. I don't think she had a car. I really don't. I don't think she had anything. I think this is the first time in her life that she's ever had some decent income. Ever. I think she's been absolutely fucking, what's the word I'm looking for? Destitute. Up until now. And that's why she's so like very, there's no girl world's oversaturated. We don't need any more reactors. We don't need this, because she's so territorial about this for obvious reasons.
Mm-hmm. Because this is all she fucking has.
She gave you a number.
There we go. Roundabout 38,045. Thank you. Are you ready for the next one? Frenchie, I don't believe for a second you paid these debts off. I think you're a fucking liar. We're only 2 in and you're at 70-some thousand, almost 80,000. Okay, here's the next one. $3,974 since January of 2013. Hold on, because I stopped putting the dates on these, so I have to go back and get the dates. This one is the $1,200 one. 1,200 and some change. Hold on.
I think so, shopping bag girl. I think so. And I think to this day, she probably is suffering with some kind of addiction problems.
And then this one is November of 2016.
She complained she was bored about foodie beauty speculation, and then she did a stream about it. I don't understand what's boring about this. This is the most excitement that we've seen since Scatgate. I know like the haters, they like to say, Alexandra's constant, blah, blah. But we don't need her here. Like, people are making content off her fucking cameos, and it's great. Like, Milky's stream today was lit.
I missed that. I can't wait to go back.
Yeah, so for her to sit there and say that, it's so boring or whatever, it's like, are you even in this with everybody? What are you talking about?
People who hate animals are psychopaths. Yes. She's a scamming ass Karen. Yes. That's her motivation, but she started as a fan. Don't forget. That's right, AK.
I think the wildest part about all of this, I don't care. Even if she did, like, I think it's pretty fucking bad for anybody. Like, you are a type of person at that point. 1 eviction, 2 evictions is one thing, but 8, there's something wrong there. Like, there's something's going on. But regardless, the fact that she tries to act like she's better than people, not just Chantel, like she acts like she's better than everybody. Isn't she the one who called Charlie the welfare queen? Are you fucking serious right now? That's wild.
Sam and the binder have proved there was a lot wrong. I love my binder. Do you recognize this binder by any chance? Any of my OGDC renegades? This is the 2020 binder. This is the actual binder from 2020.
Oh, God.
When my dog got kidnapped.
She gave you a number.
76,460. Okay, you ready for the next one? Holy shit. 38.50 since
Hey, Scar.
April of 2015.
Do you know that this motherfucker calls me white trash?
Yeah.
The nerve, the fucking nerve. The nerve. I'm just gonna start calling her fucking Feldman.
Fucking Feldman.
I gotta know, is there anybody out there who's actually got archives of where she talked about her family being in like the mafia or something?
Oh, I'm sure that shit's out there. You know, she's taken a lot of streams
Oh,
off of
yeah.
her Twitter.
A lot of
I
her
mean, off
stuff
her
is
channel.
down.
She
Yeah.
has.
And I'm not just talking about the Nodder stuff. I know she got hit with copyrights too. I'm talking outside of that.
Yeah, she's taking down shit that where she said shit she doesn't want people going back and looking at. Yeah. Dumb, thank you so much for the super chat. I think FFG has an alcohol problem or something. The way she reacts to people who disagree with her is like an angry drunk. I agree with that 100%.
Yeah, I do too.
Oh, that reminds me. I had some other things I wanted to show real quick. This is just the clip is titled, I think I titled it Frenchie Murad. I don't remember what she says. It's 2 minutes, 1 second. Let's listen while we wait on Street Carp to.
Oh my God. Look at the house.
Yeah. Can I make this bigger? Hold on.
No, it's fine. No, take it back to where it was. You're distorting it. Oh, no, it's fine. Leave it. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's okay. Wait, let me look on my. Yeah, it's fine. It is distorted. It's fine, whatever. Okay. Let's just listen. It's 2 minutes while Street Carp crunches those numbers.
Rules. I was also obviously in a very violent relationship with what I haven't mentioned before. He was also a narcissistic personality disorder. Okay. I got out. It took me 7 years until what I call opened my eyes. But it's coming out. Okay. It's the 15th today. The last day that I ever slept next to the monster was June 16th, 2 years ago. So tomorrow night, 2 years ago, was the last night that I ever slept next to a monster. And it's not because he ended it. On the 17th of June, we woke up in the morning. I woke up because I had to go to work. He was a freeloading loser who didn't have anywhere to go except to get on my nerves. At 6 o'clock in the morning, I got up to take out the dogs before I would go to work. And apparently the coffee machine was making a little too much noise and it woke him up. And that we were fighting at 6 o'clock in the morning before I go to work. And I went to work. And I can't explain what happened that day, but I knew that I would never see him again. Something just fucking clicked in my head that day.
She can't explain what happened that day because she's full of shit. This is a lie. Something just clicked. I just woke up. I just went to work and said it was done. Really?
And that's
60,500. Holy fucking shit. That is wild. Okay, Street Carp. We just have a couple more, hun. Thank you so much for your service. 2,111 since 12 of 2015. These are all numbers that Frenchie should be able to crunch herself, being an accountant and all. Hold on, wait a second. Our food beauty, thank you so much for being a member for 10 months. I tried finding your last comment. I'm not getting it. I'm sorry. I'll keep trying though. Big titty pretty bitch. Thank you so much for being a member for 15 months. She's smiling. Duper's delight. Duper's delight. Yes, I got it.
Exactly what happened. I got out that, and I can't explain what happened that day, but I knew that I would never see him again. Something just fucking clicked in my head that day. And that's exactly what happened. I got out that fucking day and I never saw him again. So it doesn't always have to be the guy who decides, but it takes a certain personality, a certain strength, a certain, I don't even know what the hell it was. It took me 7 years to open my fucking eyes, but damn, the day I open it, I knew I could never close them again. That was it. So I know that it's in there. It can be done. She just has to find it within herself. And the longer you stay, the harder it is to get out. That I know. Okay.
Really? Do you know that? No children having ass bitch. The longer you stayed, the harder it was for you to get out. Oh, big titty pretty bitch says her mom was Jewish, her father Arab. Is that what it was? Fauntleroy says Slytherin detected.
Sorry for dumping all that. Wow, I went on a real tangent, but sorry. Just like you said, Kay,
Yeah, no, I don't believe her. I don't believe her that she just woke up one day after 7 years and decided to get out. I just don't.
I'll
So,
move anything. No, not with everything I've been presented today. Nothing.
mm-mm.
And I know she lies because she lies on us all the time.
Okay,
All
30,
the time. She
31.
literally will just say anything and then go with it and then hope that her audience believes it. Who believes it, who doesn't, doesn't. It does damage regardless.
Okay, after this one, Street Carp, after the May 2016, there's one more. There's only one more. Her mother was from Chicago. I don't believe that for a fucking minute. Then why didn't she say that?
No, Joanna got deleted by accident, I think.
She went to. Hey, Alex, honey, I think you are pocket modding.
Working
Joanna,
out.
did you?
Did you unhide her?
Yes. No, I don't think they were together in 2019, Joanna Freedom. The last time they were evicted the last time Frenchie was evicted was December of 2016. Street Carp says 13% is a crazy amount of interest. Listen, the Canadians say that sounds right.
Well, do you know what the date of that video clip was by chance?
No, I don't. Oh, yes, I do. June of 2021.
When did dishwasher start coming around?
Hold on, because she said in this clip, she said it was 2 years, like 2 years ago, basically the next day or whatever.
Yeah.
And she says that their relationship ended in 2019 and this was 2021.
Do you remember when dishwasher first came around?
Dishwasher. Yeah, it was 2021. A couple months before this. Right? Wasn't it like spring? Oh, when's Chantel's birthday? March?
Mm-hmm.
It was shortly after that, wasn't it?
No, I think it was before.
It definitely was not 2020 Scarletter. It was definitely 2021. Early 2021.
Because she's the type to compare abuse stories and shit like that. And there's a clip. I remember when me and Frenchie weren't cool at all, but she was legit laughing at Chantel talking about something to do with her and Nodder. I can't remember. I wish I had that clip. But I just wonder if that's what was happening during this clip right here.
Very possible because he definitely came around in, I believe, the spring of 2021 because I remember where you and I were living. That's how I play shit.
Yeah. FFG says she knew dishwasher through mutual friends. Makes sense now, doesn't it? She also claimed he was part of some scam group. Oh man, Mango Kush.
So
That makes sense. You all realize that if she cannot continue on with her channel, that it's back to that kind of life, right? Obviously.
It's back to eviction court for you, dirt neck.
Yeah. And chat's moving. Oh, there you are. What happened?
Oh, I don't know. I just dropped my connection. It says, Sam, I found it. Check your DMs. Okay, hold on.
I distinctly remember someone matching those curtains at a Motel 8 in Canada or something. Necessarily blew through her money, but I don't think that she's got a whole bunch fucking saved up. No way. I think she blew it, a lot of it.
There's no way, bro.
What? Did you look at the email you got sent?
I'm looking at it right now.
A Street Cart put a number in chat. Man, that 12-hour live stream.
Come on. What is it? I don't see it.
26,424.
What? I got it. 26,424.
Food, guppy, octopus, weed, alcohol, none of that. Cigarettes. Like,
okay,
dude,
this is the last one, and I'll give you guys a grand total.
And I do believe that she's probably financially taking care of a lot of her family. I am sleepy.
Okay, hold on. What makes you think that this is Frenchie's condo? What exactly about this makes you think this is where she's at?
Now, present day.
Oh, Draper Avenue. No, there's no way. No, she lived in the basement of this she lived in the basement. I don't see a basement. No, I don't think present day. I think where they meant where she lived. She got evicted from. No, this place is way too nice. I don't think so. What makes you think that's it?
I mean, and not all that money is hers. She's got hella taxes to pay on that shit too.
Oh my gosh, she found it. Yeah, well, okay. There's an elevator. If that's the case, though, they've completely renovated this place.
We got more numbers. 26,401.
Okay, that's the last one. Hold on. 26,401. Okay, so
Cobra tomorrow is 9. I don't think, bacon doesn't have weights. So 9 tomorrow. As long as I can get myself out of bed. I'm joking. Go ahead.
Hold on.
I think it was probably a nicer place, probably with a shitty basement, but the house itself was probably somewhat decent.
Okay, you guys want to hear the total that Frenchie owes on all her evictions if we add in all the interest?
Yes.
$295,354. There's your spite house.
There you go. All your bad decisions.
Didn't they say she's made like $300,000?
Yeah.
In super chats. Amy PJ says July 2021 was when Foodie Beauty said she was on coke. Yeah, and so like I said, he came around like early. So
that's probably why she was telling that story.
Yes, exactly. Street Carp, thank you so much for once again lending your services, your brilliance, your expertise. Street Carp is an actual mathematician, in case you guys.
She really is.
Real fucking deal.
They want to talk about how we only got cat ladies in our audience. We got really fucking cool people over here.
Okay, I'm stopping the screening. All right, guys, 3 hours, 32 minutes is how long it took to go over Dirt Next. 9 evictions in just over 4 years, and all of the fucking scams that bitch pulled.
Very fucking telling. It really opens your eyes to everything that's happened, especially with the fucking cat situation. That's what stands out to me the most. Number one, the motherfucker didn't like cats. Number two, she had her eye on that cat even before she fucking got it. It's just crazy. And you know what? Nothing is ever going to be able to be done about that. It is what it is, but still, it doesn't change the fact that she's a fucking bad person.
Nope. The worst of the worst. Overdone Skeleton, thank you for joining memberships. Forever Basic Betty.
I don't even want to hear you talk about Chantel's debt, bro. I don't want to hear you talking about nobody in their bills when you're living and live the way that you did.
And I don't want to hear another fucking word about my rap sheet that don't exist. I don't have one. I have no convictions. I have nothing. My record is clear.
Maybe you should come on and apologize for calling Charlie the welfare queen too. Nerve of you.
Yeah, nerve of you. Imagine getting her brother on panel.
You got to really go over that stuff. There's some good stuff there. And again, it's just like the eviction stuff. Like, people know that it's there. They've seen it, but they've kind of just brushed it off. But once it's presented to them, then it's completely different.
Yeah. And just to think like all this eviction scam shit, it's all been out there and just nobody's cared enough to like sit down and actually read it all. Like, bro, that was some wild shit. So basically, Frenchie was a no good loser, junkie, scamming piece of shit, ripping off not only elderly but disabled landlords in the greater Montreal area.
And you know what though? You know what's weird about that? Okay, so like if anybody has lived like that and they've changed their life, they always make a point to tell people how far they came and they own their shit. Like they were like, "Yeah, man, I was on drugs bad. I was, hopping from lease to lease. I was a really big piece of shit. You know what? And I finally in 2022, I got my life together. I got clean and I did right. I have a job. I've had a place. I've been, you don't hear none of that. None of that. All she does is blame. She said, I was in a bad relationship for 7 years. That's why I made all those bad choices. That's all you hear. You know?
No, Alex, it was Joanna Freedom you butt modded, honey. She's saying it's hard. I don't think she got street carp. I think she got Joanna.
I think it was her. She got street carp on my stream last time.
Oh, damn, Alex. Stop with the working out during streams, girl. You're a skinny legend.
It's called denial. I agree with that. Everybody's fault but mine. Yep. She was believable on her insults toward Foodie and Nutter because she was projecting. Yeah, and she acted like she was so above them. And she was, if on their level or possibly below. I don't know. Patty says, why isn't my name green? I don't know, Patty.
I know, Wildcat 420, right? My hair is gorgeous.
She calls you greasy.
Dude, my hair is so shiny and healthy, and it always has been. Do you think she calls me a demon because she knows that I am 1/8 Canadian Iroquois Mohawk Indian? Is that why she calls me a demon?
Yeah, and it's also because you're gay. She's homophobic. She doesn't like the gays. I mean, we could do that too, French fry girl. You know that, right?
Hey, you guys, don't forget the link at the top of the chat is to the merch store. The team shirts are available. Team Canada, Team Kuwait, or Team Scissoring the Fence. Get yours now. They're only going to be available for a very limited time.
And she calls me a meth fucker. Like, you know what I mean? And obviously,
she is a meth fucker.
I mean, if you were living like this and you weren't a meth fucker, well, then I have questions, my guy. Obviously, both of you had to be participating in some kind of drug use to live like this.
Yeah. Like, okay, what were you doing? Why couldn't you pay your $500 a month rent? That's what I want to know.
And it's so weird. Like I don't know. I don't understand it. Like, again, it's all projection. It has to be. It has to be. It's so bizarre to me. Like, these are not normal. I wouldn't even look at her and think meth fucker. Like, I mean, yeah, I guess if she was in a relationship right now with obviously a meth head, it might be different. But, bro, what are you talking about? Why do you keep bringing this dude up who I ain't been in a relationship with in how many years?
Since 2017.
I mean, even back further than that, it doesn't even matter.
Well, 2017 that the internet is well aware of and can vouch for. Like, that shit's documented. You know what I mean?
This is crazy.
That's going on 10 fucking years, bitch.
He said that he found me repulsive and that he had to leave me. She just said this recently. She said
that motherfucker could not get over you. Poor Gina had to listen to how she had to listen to him talk about you literally the whole relationship.
She would come to me complaining over that shit.
She's like, yeah, it was about how much he
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's just, yeah. But for her to sit there and create this narrative that this motherfucker was repulsed by me and that he left me is so fucking bizarre. Who the fuck did you hear that from? Who told you that?
Well, I'll tell you who she heard it from. Mandy ATX. That's that dumb bitch who started
that shit. Mandy would say that. Why would Mandy say that? I don't think so.
Why does
Just made it up.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. Because Mandy always makes up dumb shit that she don't know nothing about. Bunny Melon, thank you so much for being a member for 23 months. You love your support group sweatshirt. I'm so glad you love it, girl.
Gina's doing good. She's doing pretty good.
Yeah, she's doing good.
You got your support group sweatshirt? That's awesome.
Those are my favorite. That's what people say about her lumberjack. She's turning it around on but oh yeah, that's true. I don't listen. We're gonna dig into the lumberjack too, because I think that's a loaded crock of shit.
You can't quit me, Cal. I can't quit me either.
Nobody
I like hanging out with me. I think I'm pretty fucking cool. I can entertain myself. I'm like, you want to be friends with me? You don't want to hang out with all this awesome sauce? And so be it. It's just me and me. That's what happens when you're an only child. You have to learn how to entertain yourself and love yourself and all that jazz.
You said all that jazz.
It's true.
Oh, wait. She said she lived in the same apartment complex with lumberjack. That's a lie.
Okay, so listen, I was working on the postcard earlier. So odds are before you guys get the postcards and the sticker, she's probably gonna show herself, right? But I don't want to change my idea. Like, regardless, I think it's still cool. Like, I want to do, okay, I'll just tell you, I want to do Team Canada and Team Kuwait, for the stickers this month. And then you can like kind of, if you want to throw it in the trash or just keep it. But if you want to rock your Team Kuwait, Team Canada sticker.
Oh no, it's still totally iconic. And I have that disclaimer on the listing for the shirts. I put in the thing that like shipping times are not guaranteed, and there's a good chance that your shirt will come after Chantel reveals where she is.
Yeah, because especially with her doing cameos and stuff like that, I don't want to, because I think the idea is like the whole thing is still pretty fucking epic. So don't be disappointed if you probably are going to get your postcard and your sticker after she shows herself. With her doing the cameos and everything, I look for her to probably show herself pretty soon. I think they're getting desperate. So let me ask you all this, just because I've been kind of seeing everything that's came out today, but I know I've seen the headrest or what looks to be a little part of the headrest, and they're kind of putting the stitching together. Do you guys think that that's the Temu car?
Do you want to pull it real quick, babe?
Yeah.
Quick? Okay, hold on.
Because I've seen people coming in earlier, and I didn't want to stop you from what you were doing and kind of get off topic. But I've seen people come in at the beginning of the stream. They're like, she's in Canada. It's confirmed. And I'm like, I don't know that confirms anything. You're thinking Canada? And only answer if you've seen the cameo and the clues and everything that we're talking about. You haven't seen it, Fauntleroy? Scissoring the fence. You're so funny. Oh, God. That was somebody in chat, I think, that made that up.
Yeah, I know. I heard it and I wrote it down and I made it into a shirt.
Yeah. They said something about scissoring the fucking fence. That was some good shit. We have the best people. The cameos made you flip to Canada, Jay? Can I ask why? Yeah, you do that, Font. Don't be fucking.
Oh wait, real quick, back to the lumberjack. So I have it noted here that apparently, according to Dirtneck, back in 2023, she claimed that Shannon had seen pictures of the lumberjack. So Shannon, if Shannon were to, I don't know, speak on that, we definitely read it.
I think it's a possibility that the guy, I'm not going to call him a lumberjack because I obviously do not think that it was a lumberjack, but I think there might have been a short relationship.
Rachel Hayes says that the cameo made her flip to Kuwait.
Yeah, kind of, Rachel. That's what I got from it. But people are saying that the headrest. What do you think? You're scissoring the fence, Mrs. Sin? Really? What does Mr. Sin say? FFG says Shannon is a person who coined him the lumberjack. Fuck out of here.
Discord Roses says Lumberjack is another scrawny cokehead. I don't like Shannon
You
either.
got your Tumblr, Alex?
Oh, Alex, that's great. It turned out really good. The colors were super vibrant. And I was so worried because that particular printer had been like literally turned off for months. And
It
it
did
came
look
out.
good. I
Yeah,
seen
it
it
came out
too.
really
And I
good.
told her to put stuff in your package, and she was trying to rush and get it out to you, so she didn't. I just want to tell you that. Sorry, babe.
That's very true. I'm sorry, Alex.
You don't think it's the Temu Mobile?
Oh,
She does look
Misfin says he's also scissoring the fence.
He's scissoring the fence too? You guys are supposed
Hold
to
on.
be
Okay,
professional.
wait. Lisa in chat says it's illegal for her to do cameos in Kuwait without a work permit. Multiple people have made her aware of that. I don't think she'd be breaking the law with all the eyes on her now. Okay, thank you for sharing that.
Damn, the headrest really got me, guys.
I have not seen the headrest yet. I haven't seen it because
So,
I'd come home.
Cabela, what do you think? I'll have to show you the pictures.
Yes, I'm sure you will.
The headrest, it looked like the fucking Temu car. I don't know. I do too, Jay. I really do too. And that's more than likely what we're going to be doing tomorrow. I just kind of want to watch the cameos and just talk. She's hiding the key. Yeah, that is something that it seemed like she was totally,
That
she's
she was
in the
high. Just Jamie says, why does she need to film from a car in Kuwait? Yeah, if she was going to use a green screen, why not just do it from the fart box in Kuwait? In Canada, we know she has nowhere to be online. We know that. So it would make sense that maybe if she rented a car in Canada, that she would green screen it there. But I think that's an excellent point. If she were in Kuwait and just going to use a green screen, she wouldn't be in a car doing it.
You could hear nature sounds in the background, and there's only 10
you can hear
not nature.
That's another thing. You said there wasn't the beeping and the honking like there is in Kuwait.
Right. There's no horns. There's no horns. What's the poll? Let's see. I want to see what people are saying.
Virgo, oh no, I will definitely use the white glitter on your Team Canada shirt. If you pick the right team, you get the white glitter.
She's also a big troll and knows that we get out. The wallet is crying to be filled. Listen. Okay, but I will say this much. As much as the headrest, in my opinion, looked a lot like the Temu car, I think it's Lauren on Twitter who just said earlier that she doesn't have the undercap on in the cameo. That's why she thinks she's in Canada. The fact that she looks high and the fact that she looks like she's been crying a whole lot, probably because her sweet love is sticking his cupcake recipes somewhere else.
Major Hay said wheelchairs. Her flush face threw you off. It's only 66 in Canada yesterday. That doesn't matter. It could be 46 degrees outside. Yeah, and if Chantel had to walk from the house to the car, she's gonna be flushed.
Yes, I agree with that. That's not that. No.
Thank you, Yamano. Yamano says that I'm the smartest person in girl world, so they got to side with hashtag Team Canada.
Oof. She looks extremely puffy.
Princess Brioche said they could hear nature sounds.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you can hear like the outside and everything.
Old Red is scissoring the fence. She's always so sick after long travel, and she sounded congested. Prison slop. Good point. She sweats in the Canadian winter, bro. That's very true. She's out of breath just talking. Can I pull up Milky's community post for the headrest pics?
Yeah, you could do that really quick.
I don't know if I'll be able to find their channel real quick. Hold on. Can somebody drop the link?
Sub the Milky. Just expose yourself.
Even if I'm subscribed, I don't know how to find shit.
Put in Milky Foodie Beauty. It should come up.
Okay, hold on. I got too many tabs open. Give me a second.
Hey, our Foodie Beauty. Good to see you, hun. Doing how much longer until the rabies symptoms on set? Did she finish the rabies shots? She did not. The cameo video is on Milky's channel. She got to watch and play both of them.
Okay, hold on.
Petty Pandora says the headrest confirmed Canada. I need to look at it again then. I was looking on my phone. I haven't looked on my computer.
Okay, hold on.
Right, Jessica? Exactly. She has a third. 3 cameo leaks. Okay.
Okay, that's the pic of the headrest. First pick is the headrest from a cameo, 1,000% filmed in Canada. Second is the headrest, okay, from the new. Oh, look. Okay, I see it. I see that. Okay.
So that's a rental or something, I think, right? But does that not look like the Temu, the second picture?
I don't know. Where's the do we have a picture of the Temu headrest? That's what I'm not seeing. Can I see the Temu headrest?
Oh, Jessica, for fuck's sakes.
Where's the Temu headrest?
I don't know.
How are we comparing this to the Temu car if we don't have a screenshot of the Temu headrest?
Jordy got a cameo. Is his cameo that got completed? Unbelievable. Mine got canceled.
I see the stitching there.
I don't want to talk about it.
Look at how bad she looks. Look at how bad. Okay, so do we have the video? Short, live, another 31 minutes. Are they going to show the team? Does she show the Temu card? How long is this cameo?
No, it's short. Of course she's doing reactions. She's talking, but she plays it without any commentary. So unmute it.
Okay, hold on.
Play. Hi, I hope you're doing well. So hello, Appa. I'm sure you chin Randy with a screen.
Can somebody?
I didn't pay for it.
Channel, please?
I love them and sent me a
What
camera.
do you want?
Oh, link her channel. Go up a little bit.
What?
Go up in the timeline a little bit.
I am trying.
It's the same outfit. Send it over. She looks.
I don't want to scare you.
Okay, hold on.
Because of a pneumonia.
Job, you're right. Thrown on. She's sick. Hi, Goose Chuck. Yes,
I will say she never has her. She doesn't look like this in Kuwait. She has the undercap
her
on.
undercap's missing. Look, it's just like the hijab over her head.
Which also, when was the last time we saw this garment? When was the last time we saw this garment in fucking Kuwait?
And I think she's trying to throw us off with her wearing that outfit because normally she has new clothes because Smee buys her new clothes. That was like my first thing. I was like, oh, she's got on her old clothes, possibly Canada. But she's obviously trying to throw people off of her scent too. I don't want to say too much more about it, but go ahead.
I pinned Milky's channel to the top.
Thank you, babe.
Screen for sure.
Been sick. Pneumonia can take a long time. It does cause quite a ruckus in your lungs. I have some
Not a ruckus in your lungs.
Believed to be scar tissue left on my lung. I don't want to scare you because of a really bad bout with pneumonia I had. It was bad. So, but just rest, nourish yourself well, drink lots of fluids.
Rest. Uncanny Valley, definitely. Thank you so much for being a member.
She can't even open her eyes.
I would suggest.
I want to know when the last time she wore this top in Kuwait, because I personally feel like we've not seen this in a long time.
It hasn't been that long. She wears that.
Really?
It hasn't been that long. It's one of the only ones that still fit her.
Oh, really? Okay, fine. Here.
Taking those. But be careful. I'm going to pray for you and hope that you get better very soon, Sam. And thank you for the cameo. Yeah, I am just on a break and, just taking some time away from the internet. I really need it. So I apologize for that because I do miss you guys, my wonderful fans. And
my wonderful fans. All right, calm down. She's in Canada. That's why the fake Kuwait green screen. So we'll watch it all, discuss. We'll watch it.
Is that supposed to be a Kuwait scene behind her? It's a fake Kuwait green screen.
Yes, it's got palm trees.
Bitch.
She's like, I'm totally still here, guys. I'm outside at the beach feeding the cats as we speak. I just stopped to film this cameo.
Holy fucking shit. Okay. Jesus,
I'm
Chantel.
totally still here. I'm just taking a break.
That totally was not me and my mom's Facebook picture at my sister's birthday party.
I was surprised she didn't throw in a couple of meows in there.
Is she acting like she's outside? I think she is.
Good.
Okay. All right.
Again, we'll watch it a few times.
All right. And then there's another one.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where. I thought that was the newest one, but maybe not.
By the way, please, lovely subscribe.
But I missed some things on how I'm guessing you probably.
And my pocket, please. It looks like a description.
Oh, hi, Lacey Bluey. Hello, hello. It is me, Foodie Beauty. I'm guessing you probably wanted a cameo. Yeah, because you missed me. I really appreciate that. Just wanting to see what I'm up to and if I'm okay. And I appreciate that, Lacey. Yeah. Now,
do you see how the green screen is filling and you can see the headrest?
Yeah.
It looks a lot like the cherry, whatever the fuck it's called, the sherry. It looks a lot like the sherry.
Listen, most vehicles with newer vehicles with black interior look like that.
Yeah.
I mean, my fucking Honda headrest looks like that, for Christ's sake.
Probably.
All she had to do was make sure she got a vehicle with black interior.
I can't really reveal too much on how I'm doing, but I don't know when I'll be back either, Lacey, to be honest. But I can definitely say hey to you, and thank you so much for the cameo. I am here, though, so, you know, I'm just working through some things offline. I'm just taking a break.
Your liver needs a break, girl. Sorry.
And, yeah, hopefully I'll be back. I don't know when. But I miss you, too. I miss you guys so much. So thank you, Lacey, and take care.
All right. Stop sharing. That's it. We're done.
Fugitive speaks from a Kuwait jail cell.
Yeah, no shit. Let me end the poll. Yeah, well, now I know she's not locked up. Okay. No, she is in fucking Canada. Okay, the poll, 286 votes. Man, there's 810 of you in here. We only got 286 votes.
Half these motherfuckers are asleep. Do you see the chat crawling?
No, it's not really. Canada, 56%. Kuwait, 23%. Scissoring the fence, 19%. All right, that's it, guys. We're done. Thank you so much for being here.
Wait. What did you think about the 1-800 number idea?
Oh, I already talked about that in the beginning. I think it's fucking great, and I can't wait.
I gotta find the VTech cordless phone that I want, though.
Hey, listen, this was a 4-hour live stream. You're talking about doing 12, so we could totally do this. We're a third of the way through, so yeah. All right, are we done?
All right, fine. I'm out of here. You want me to shut up? I'll shut up. That's fine. I'll see you guys at 9 a.m.
I'm tired, and you made promises I intend to keep. Goodbye.